that we are connected on my end. Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday evening. Meteorologist Mike Joyce here. If you've been joining me and Mark, we understand that we've been having some issues with our live stream, and we had many instances of buffering. What we've done is we've switched over to my computer at my house. Mark is still with us, so we're going to carry you through for a while. Let me know if there's any issues from this stream, but we are going to try to stream from a different computer, so hopefully we can get rid of some of these issues. So we do appreciate your patience. I understand it's frustrating. It's certainly frustrating for us as well, as we really do want to provide the best service that we can. And we do appreciate those of you who are sticking with us. Okay, that said, let's dive right into what is really causing some problems for people right now. That is a tornado warning for Putnam, Paulding, Henry, and Defiance County. That is going to run until 11:45 this evening. And we are still seeing quite a strong mid-level rotation signature from the Northern Indiana radar site, which is not close. This part of Ohio is not covered by Weather Service radar very well, but because this area of rotation is so strong and so telling, the National Weather Service office in Northern Indiana has elected to continue this tornado warning until 11:45. Also, I would like to mention that if you are in the Toledo area, the National Weather Service office in Cleveland has issued a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Lucas County, all of Lucas County, until, let's see, this will run until 11:45, just like the tornado warning, and this is tagged tornado possible because of some small areas of rotation to the west of Toledo. So that's going to be suburban areas like Holland and Sylvania, Ottawa Hills, the city of Toledo, the north side of Maumee, White House, Swanton, places like that. So those are the two main areas in Ohio we are looking at right now. Particularly the tornado warning in that I mentioned in Putnam, Paulding, Defiance, and let me make sure I've got all the locations for you here. Henry County there. That's where Napoleon is. That'll run until 11:45. So radar signature is still looking pretty much the same. Where the strong area of rotation is over Continental and DuPont right now. State Route 15 is right there. New Bavaria is in Henry County. That is a location under this tornado warning. This is a relatively rural area of Ohio, but still very important. We still have a lot of folks that live in the area that we want to make sure that they are safe. And this area of rotation still is concerning. Even though we're not getting the best radar coverage here in Northwest Ohio, it is still quite concerning. Other areas that we have to watch out for some strong thunderstorms. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Hardin and northern Logan County until that runs until 11:45 as well. So that's Indian Lake, Russell's Point, Ada, Kenton, places like that. And then as we stretch back into Mercer and Darke County, where we did have severe weather earlier, Randolph County, Indiana, and Wayne County, Indiana are also once again under severe thunderstorm warnings. So if you are in Mercer and Darke County, please keep your eyes to the sky still, I should say, or at least ears peeled for an update on that situation. Okay, like Mark said, we are really trying to focus on the tornado warning, as this is the most dangerous situation we have in the coverage area right now. So the tornado warning was just updated. It will be allowed to continue until 11:45, except for Paulding County. So Paulding County has been taken out of the tornado warning. But this area of rotation is still sitting on top of Continental, State Route 15, other roads in the area. We have, let's see, State Route 108 that runs from Miller City to Holgate. You are in the tornado warning. New Bavaria, you're in the tornado warning. This area of broad rotation in the upper levels of the atmosphere is still showing a signature strong enough for the National Weather Service to consider this a tornado situation. So you should be in your safe spot in the lowest level of your home, ideally a basement if you don't have one. An interior room away from windows is really what is ideal here. And again, this is going to run another 15 minutes. Hopefully, in an ideal world, we would like to see this expired and the threat diminishing, but we have not seen anything indicating a diminishing strength at the moment. So, that said, I also do want to mention the severe thunderstorm warning in Toledo. So, this was tagged tornado possible by the National Weather Service in Cleveland because of some potential rotation there as well. That's a more populated area, so I am concerned about it. I mean, everyone's important. Don't get me wrong, but that is impacting a large amount of people in suburban Toledo. Okay, we got a new radar scan out of this storm, still on the strong side. And even if it's not producing a tornado, it is going to be packing a wallop of straight line wind, potentially greater than 60 to 70 miles per hour, which can be damaging. And it can be as damaging as some low end tornadoes. So, either way, it is a situation where we have to be very, very serious. So, again, that is not going to be for Paulding County anymore. That is just going to be for Putnam, Henry, and Defiance until 11:45. We are getting a report from the Putnam County Emergency Management Office. Part of a barn is in the roadway of State Route 66 south of Ottoville. All right, let's try to find that on the map. So that is just south of the tornado warned area. So that is most likely the same storm that caused that. Again, a barn in the middle of State Route 66 south of Ottoville. So 66 runs north and south there as well. So this storm has a history of packing a punch. And we're going to be watching really closely what the Weather Service decides to do. Right now, they do not plan on issuing a new tornado warning after 11:45. But Mark, we'll just kind of have to see how things shape up. It's certainly a volatile situation out there tonight.
Yeah, it looks like that rotation is definitely weakening. I'm actually wondering if the storm is trying to split itself here too.
Yeah.
It looked like the two heavier areas of reflectivity have kind of split off. So it's possible it's either gusting out or we've moved a bit of a downburst or something like that. Kind of hard to tell, but yeah, the rotation not quite as noticeable as what we were seeing earlier. Still seeing some shear for sure, but not what we were seeing a little bit ago. So we'll kind of have to keep an eye on that. And actually, this really, if you pan out just a touch on the reflectivity, it's a really nice curved cell that goes from Bowling Green to Napoleon, Defiance, and then back down towards North Creek there, north of Continental. It's really an interesting cell, but that actually was part of that cell that was producing tornadoes back north of Indianapolis a couple hours ago. Not even that long ago, really. So very interesting to see that. Looks like we also had a report earlier of trees down in Middleport and a 65-mile-an-hour wind gust out of Van Wert at the fairgrounds. So definitely some strong winds with these storms. Also worth noting, we haven't quite. I don't think we covered it. The severe thunderstorm warning for northern Preble, southern Dark, northern Montgomery, and Miami County goes till 12:15 a.m. 60-mile-an-hour winds possible, along with some penny-sized hail. That's moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. And that's going to get into the just north of the Dayton area. So Piqua, Troy, Troy, Greenville, Arcanum, Tip City, Vandalia, Englewood, Bradford, Potsdam, New Madison, Covington. If you're right around the Dayton airport, of course, New Hope. All in there is under that severe thunderstorm warning. That particular storm right now just crossing over the Ohio-Indiana border from pretty much Richmond north right now from what I am seeing on the radar. So it is, we're going to close that. Another kind of line segment moving through. We're going to continue to see that, I think, over the next probably good couple hours. We kind of got other line segments back in Indiana, even south of Indianapolis now. A few more tornado warnings back on those as well, Mike.
Yeah, and that's why we can't let our guard down just yet with all of the tornado warnings that are still in effect down to our southwest. Now, there are tornado warnings in effect for the Louisville, Kentucky metro area. Mm-hmm. So if you know anybody in Louisville, Kentucky, they should be, really the whole city should be in a safe spot. And the whole city's not under a tornado warning, but the metro area, especially on the Indiana side, most of those locations are under a tornado warning. And this has really been a massive outbreak of tornadoes with some very nasty storms that developed in Arkansas near Memphis. They've been really getting the brunt of the storms down there. And there's still a lot of spin in the atmosphere back here in Ohio as well. Like Mark mentioned, we do have this line of severe thunderstorms that's moving into the middle Miami Valley communities. So Greenville, you find yourself once again under a severe thunderstorm warning. That is going to run until 12:15 this morning. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning now for northern Montgomery County. So that's going to be Brookville, Vandalia, Trotwood, North Dayton, the airport, and then up into Miami County, West Milton, Tip City. A lot of populated areas there as well. So again, that's a straight line wind threat. But we can take a look at it on the Dayton radar, the airport radar. And thankfully I'm not seeing any areas of rotation, so that's good. But we have to watch that one very closely. Let's see here. And we still do have that tornado warning in effect until 11:45, so that's going to run another
about 9 minutes.
About 9 minutes for Henry and Putnam County. So the good news is I am really hoping they don't have to issue a new tornado warning here. It's looking much weaker. It does, though, still show signs of straight line wind threat. That is still going to be happening. So you're still going to have to stay in your safe spot, even if the tornado warning is expired, because we're still looking at quite a strong straight line wind threat. So we'll try to work on getting some storm tracks for you here in a little bit, but that's what we're looking like. Right now, just to kind of give you a broad view of what's going on, I know a lot of people ask specifically about their towns. It's impossible to keep up with that with 1,700 of you with us, and we really appreciate you all watching, but it's impossible to keep up with everyone asking about their specific town. So if I'm not talking about your town, you're likely okay for now. Tornado watch until 4 a.m. from Cleveland, Mansfield, Columbus, Cincinnati, basically I-71 to the points to the west. Those are the counties that are in yellow. It's kind of hard to see because the radar is overlaying that. But we do have several areas with severe thunderstorm warnings that are particularly dangerous. That is now including a good section of the Dayton metro area. Richmond, Indiana is getting hammered right now. Greenville, you're in your second severe thunderstorm warning. Piqua, round 2 is coming. Indian Lake and Bell Fountain, it is getting quite gusty and wet. Ada and Kenton are also seeing some severe wind potential as well. But we also do have that, or I should say, severe thunderstorm warning for the Toledo area that was initially tagged tornado possible due to some rotation showing up in Lucas County. That has seemed to have weakened a little bit, and we're still watching that tornado warned storm in Defiance, Henry, and Putnam County. That really that storm has moved out of the warning. That's going to get canceled here in about 5 minutes. But still, some straight line wind damage threat moving all the way through the rest of Henry County up toward Napoleon, and then up into Fulton County, and Lucas County, looking at another a potential round of gusty winds. So that severe thunderstorm warning may get continued there for Toledo. We'll have to watch very closely for that. So
Yeah, Mike. I think right now the rotation is for Lucas County is probably just east of downtown. There's also another little area of rotation up just north of the state line there, just north of Temperance, but that's in Michigan. That's not going to be over land for much longer, and Toledo will be over the lake shortly. I do want to mention too. It looks like Waterville's getting quite a bit of a walloping as well, and that's going to move into Perrysburg shortly. You guys are not under severe thunderstorm warning. You're just outside of it, but certainly looking quite strong. And this tornado warning cell as well. Much of the storm is outside of the polygon that was issued at this point. So I'm thinking that they're just going to allow the warning to expire on its own here in the next just a few minutes. But if you that's moving up towards Toledo as well. So if you're in like Grand Rapids, Neapolis, Waterville, Perrysburg, getting into Rossford and Toledo, that's headed your way, and it should be there generally in about the next, I'd say, 20 minutes or so as you get towards Toledo. Mike, do you have any way to do like storm tracks or anything like that on
I
your end?
am working on yeah, I'm working on that right now, trying to figure out how to get that to work.
I wish
I
I
would
wish I
certainly
could
love
do
to.
it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but we will get those storm tracks for you here very soon. What I will tell folks though is that these storms are moving very quickly. The average motion is about 55 to 60 miles per hour northeast. So when these storms hit you, it's going to be quick. The storm will come through quick. It'll be windy for a while, rainy, a potential damaging wind, and then it'll be, basically coming down to just breezy with rain. And yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at here with these storms. About 55 to 60 miles per hour to the northeast, and we are. Hold on, I'm trying to get the tracking working here. All right, let's see if we can get this working.
While you're working on that, I got a couple of things I can share. So a
Yeah.
couple storm reports out of the Van Wert area. Down in Ohio City, they villages reporting some poles snapped and trees down. There's also just to the southeast of Van Wert, power poles and tree branches down, and a home lost its roof.
Oh, okay.
So that was all with this tornado warned cell, by the way, before it was tornado warned. Additionally, speaking of kind of the tornado warned stuff too, there's a pretty nice line of tornado warnings in southern Indiana, as Mike mentioned, around the Louisville area, getting down towards Tell City, Indiana, if you know where that's at. And that whole package is racing to the northeast. So if you're in the Cincinnati metro area, northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, somewhere in there, I would just keep a close eye on those particular cells. Um, there's no saying exactly how that's going to transpire, but all that stuff is kind of gradually making its way up the line in that manner. So that is something that we'll kind of need to monitor. And there's one, two, three, four, about five tornado warnings currently in effect in that area. And that's an uptick from 25 or so minutes ago as well. So that's something we're just going to keep an eye on for you. Looks like yes, just in here, Mike. Too. This is just south of Continental and DuPont. The emergency manager in Putnam County reporting several homes with extensive damage in DuPont.
Okay.
So we may have had something touch down in that area, maybe briefly, maybe a little bit longer. And we are still watching that cell. That cell right now is a little east of Defiance. It's basically between Napoleon and Holgate, kind of right along. Looks like that's going to be, if I can get, nope, I can't get the road to come up on there. Let's try over here. That's going to be State Route 108, kind of in that area right now.
Oh
Perrysburg,
yeah.
the turnpike really getting hit pretty good right now. Some really heavy rains, perhaps some strong winds in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think. Oh yeah, when we have a new severe thunderstorm warning to talk about as
There it
well.
is.
Yeah,
Yep.
because of that. This
Wow.
is
Mhm.
for a lot of people, and it's tagged tornado possible. So that is going to include all of Wood County, all of Hancock County, the northwestern portion of Seneca County, all of Sandusky County, and most of Ottawa County until 12:30 a.m. And yes, it is tagged tornado possible due to that rotation that was most likely showing up on the northern Indiana radar. And if I switch over to Cleveland, maybe we can get a clearer look, and maybe I
It's
can
not much
draw a storm
better.
track for you
They,
here.
they have the storm motion is 90 miles an hour in that
90.
warning. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
you don't see that too much.
No. That is quite the. Wow. All right. Well, let's try to track that for you then. All right. 90 miles an hour. Here we go. So
It's going to
it's.
be over the lake in about 20 minutes, but
Yeah. No
you know,
kidding.
I this particular cell is kind of concerning though, Mike, over Napoleon there and everything. I'm wondering if this is trying to kind of wrap back around here.
Oh.
Our tornado warning was allowed to expire, so we don't have a tornado warning currently in effect. But I am wondering if this is trying to wrap back in. Northern Indiana has a little bit better look at it over Napoleon, and
Hmm.
it does look like it is trying to wrap back in just a little bit with the latest scan. Of course, we're shooting about 8,000 feet in the air, so we're looking at mid-level rotation. But I would say if you're in McClure or Grand Rapids up to Waterville right now, I'd be keeping a very close eye on it and maybe kind of close to your safe spot just in case. With that storm moving so fast, you're going to have very, very little time to run for your safe spot once that tornado warning gets issued, if it gets issued. Our severe thunderstorm warning for much of Lucas County has been allowed to expire as well, kind of sort of replaced by our larger severe thunderstorm warning, Mike just read a moment ago. Um, so yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely keep an eye on that. I do think that might be trying to wrap in a little bit, Mike.
All right, and yeah, well, we will get right to that because that's very important. Let me show you guys the storm track of this storm cluster, particularly the strong part that Mark just mentioned. I do anticipate that strong
Here we
part
go.
will have to go over the lake and then weaken because the lake is cold this time of year. But let's get some timing. Moving at 90 miles per hour is is wow. This is what that would look like. So in Sandusky, it's going to be there in a half hour. If you're in the western suburbs of Cleveland, places like North Olmsted, Elyria, Westlake, Strongsville, you're looking at about an hour from now. Even downtown Cleveland, probably about an hour and 15 minutes. East side of Cleveland, an hour and 15, an hour and a half, and then all the way up toward Lake County, you know, closer to still about an hour and 20 minutes. So it's really, really booking it. That said, I think we'll see some weakening as it moves over the lake, but these are some pretty nasty storms. So let's go analyze what Mark was talking about here a little bit with some possible um, rotation wrapping back around again. And I think the Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning because of that. Let's see if we can't get some better radar data. Unfortunately, this part of the state does not have the best radar
Not
coverage.
good. No.
Okay, here we go. Severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado possible. There we go. Makes
Yeah.
sense. This is going to run all the way. Let's see. What's going on here? Yeah, let me see if I can't get that more updated here.
We do have a couple new severe thunderstorm warnings that I'll read as well down
Okay.
in southwestern Ohio, but
Southwestern. Okay.
they're barely touching us here. Um, Looks like northwestern Butler County and southwestern Preble County. This goes until 12:15 a.m. These are storms that are near Brookville, I believe, Indiana, moving to the northeast at 70 miles an hour.
70. Okay.
Yeah, and we got a new tornado warning down that way too on that same storm.
Okay.
Uh, Let me go to the Wilmington radar and take a look at that. Boy, that escalated in a hurry. Yes, right over Liberty, Indiana is
Oh
some
my.
really
Yep.
strong rotation. So we do have a tornado warning now in effect for Preble County and west central Montgomery County
Yes.
until 12:15 a.m. for radar indicated rotation. It still moving northeast at 60 miles per hour.
Wow. Okay.
If you're right now, let's get some towns here, kind of rural, but if you're anywhere in any of those areas along the state line, now's the time to take shelter. It's going to be in Tapia in just a few moments. Eaton, Alexandria, Lewisburg, New Hope, and Campbellstown, kind of the big towns I see in there that are impacted by all of that as well. If you're right along I-70 as well, south of I-70 for sure in that area.
Yeah.
I would take shelter. That's some very strong and telling rotation there, Mike.
It sure is, and yeah, that does include a lot of the Dayton
Wow.
metro area. So let's get a storm track on that for you here. It is moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. So we really don't have a lot of time if you are in any of the locations. So Eaton, it's going to be there in about 15 minutes. New Lebanon at 12:18, Brookville 12:19, Trotwood 12:23.
Oh yeah, it's really wrapped in.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And then after that, we'll have to kind of see what happens. So I'll just report those initial times. So if you're in Trotwood and Inglewood, be prepared for the next half hour for this to be where you are. Brookville, even sooner than that. So Eaton, New Lebanon, Brookville, Trotwood, Inglewood, within the next 20 minutes or so. This is quite a strong area of rotation, and we're actually getting a pretty decent radar signature of it right over Liberty, Indiana. So, wow.
Yeah, we have. I don't have a feed for him, unfortunately, but we have our own. Let's see. Brian Armstrong is in south. He's just southwest of West Alexandria, and that cell is basically heading right towards him. And boy, did that rotation tighten up in a hurry on that latest scan. Oh my, Mike. Just
Yeah.
north of Liberty, it's really hauling there.
Yeah.
Even some data drop out.
I will also mention that there is an area of rotation near El Dorado and Lewisburg along I-70 that the Weather Service is also.
There's a tornado warning on that. It just popped.
All right. So we have a
Tornado
second
warning
tornado
now,
warning.
northeastern Preble, southeastern Dark, northwestern Montgomery County, and southwestern Miami County. That goes until 12:15 a.m. for that storm you're just talking about near Lewisburg, moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. So that is gradually heading towards some populated areas there. Yeah, near El Dorado, Ithaca, Gordon, Verona, Potsdam, Pittsburgh, Ludlow Falls. Outside of the warning is Troy and Tip City. You're not far outside of it, guys. So you want to keep an eye on that because that's probably only about 15 or so minutes before it hits you there, to be honest. And the other storm just moving out of Liberty is just getting ready to cross over the state line as well, probably in Eaton within about the next 5 to 8 minutes or so, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's put some tracks on it. Again, the new tornado warning is for Preble, Dark, northern Montgomery, and Miami. It's moving northeast at 60. The area of rotation that we're concerned about is near El Dorado right now. Let's see here. Again, these storms are just absolutely moving so fast.
Yeah, they're hauling.
I just want to make sure I can get some accurate. I know it looks like I'm messing around with it there, but it's really tough to do because they're moving fast. Okay, so some small towns. West Manchester at 11:55. That's 2 minutes away. That's in northern Preble County. Arcanum. You are maybe 10, 15 minutes out from this. It might pass to the south of Arcanum. Brookville, you're just outside it. But if you are in Phillipsburg, West Milton, Ludlow Falls, these are places that are unfortunately no stranger to tornadoes. So hopefully people are paying attention and are watching very closely. Some other locations, again, West Milton, you're looking at about 1213. Casstown is in eastern Miami County at 1226, and Christiansburg and Urbana after that. So we'll have to see how the cell behaves from there. But yes, we do have some strong rotation signatures. Mark, I'm going to switch over to the Dayton radar since we're kind of close to it and see what we see. I am not overly concerned about what I see on the Dayton radar at the moment. I'm thinking that maybe the storm could be cycling a little bit, or but we are still showing some rather dangerous wind situations on the Wilmington radar. So there's definitely rotation there. Maybe not exactly hitting the ground at the moment, but in these situations it can hit the ground at any moment. So that's why the tornado warnings have been issued.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd that the Dayton terminal Doppler isn't showing quite as much, but yet the Wilmington is. Maybe it could be a couple different things there. We did get a new severe thunderstorm warning further north. Big old box for eastern Seneca, Marion, Wyandotte, northern Morrow. Make that northwestern Morrow, Crawford County, and southeastern Hancock County at 1230. Big old line of storms, of course, moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. So some of the bigger towns involved here: Tiffin, Marion, Bucyrus, Upper Sandusky, New Washington, LaRue, Waldo, Cary, Attica, Benton, Caledonia, Republic, all kind of in the way of that one as well. I was also trying to look at the Toledo area again. I don't want to forget about them. And everything is just coming in so slow right now on this end.
Right.
But it looked like the rotation had kind of gone away, but we still got some fairly decent winds moving through there as well. Do want to mention too about the tornadoes in southwestern Ohio. Well, that it's also nighttime. It's just about midnight there. You're not going to be able to see these tornadoes, guys. Again, they're going to be wrapped in rain. Don't try to go outside and find them. You're not going to see them. It will find you. Also wanted to address a couple people in the chat talking about sirens going off for our severe thunderstorm warning that I just read up in the Bucyrus, Marion, Upper Sandusky area. So the counties have control of their sirens and how they want to sound them. So if you are unsure of if your county has sirens and if they do, what they sound them for, there are several counties in Ohio that sound sirens for severe thunderstorm warnings as well as tornado warnings. So be careful with that siren because it could be for a severe thunderstorm warning, not so much a tornado warning. Just understand that they will sound for both sometimes. It looks like they did update the tornado warning, the southern one there for Preble in west central Montgomery County. Again, that goes to 12:15. Still radar indicated tornado 7 miles northeast of Liberty, Indiana, moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. I am just not getting any radar data right now. This whole thing is it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's slow. I'm getting it in, but it's slow on my end. Let's head right back to our velocity for these two tornado warnings. And right now, I'm not seeing a lot of strong rotation, but what I am seeing, just crossing the state line, heading right toward Eaton and maybe north side of Camden and Gratis, is this very strong area of wind. And this may end up being straight line wind here, but I would treat it as a tornado for two reasons. One, a tornado warning is in effect, and maybe we're not just seeing the exact low levels. And two, even if it is straight line wind, it may produce enough damage to be like a tornado. So please take that very seriously in Preble County. Even if it doesn't seem like it's rotating like it was back in Liberty, Indiana, it is still a very dangerous storm. This northern tornado warning has some rotation on it. It doesn't appear to be as concerning as it was 5 minutes ago, but that is the nature of these embedded storms in lines of thunderstorms. You get storms behaving and moving very quickly. There's a ton of wind energy in the atmosphere. So, still, the threat for this to tighten up and spin up and turn into a tornado could very well still be under consideration. So, if you're in Arcanum, Potsdam, Laura, West Milton, Phillipsburg, please continue to be in your safe space. And even Brookville, Englewood, Lewisburg, even though Brookville and Englewood and Trotwood are not in the tornado warning, I would, in the abundance of caution, head to your safe spot anyway, because you are in the path if this does continue to produce rotation as it heads towards you. So that's what we're kind of looking at right now. And it looks like the Weather Service has gone ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning for pretty much all of Montgomery County now. So if you are in Montgomery County and not part of the tornado warning, well, now you're part of the severe thunderstorm warning. So that's everyone. That's Germantown, Miamisburg, Kettering, Centerville, Dayton, Huber Heights. You're in Oakwood. You're in Montgomery County. You're under the severe thunderstorm warning, basically, at this point. And the reason why, one, it's tagged tornado possible because it kind of overlaps the tornado warning a little bit. But two, they can spin up at any moment. This is a very volatile atmosphere where we don't have specifics on when tornadoes might be spinning up because they happen so quickly. A lot of times in these situations, they can happen between radar scans. So meaning they spin up quick and fizzle out, and the radar may not have seen it at all. So that is why we are really, really kind of, in a sense, warning a lot of people right now, because any one of those places could see potentially destructive straight-line damaging wind or a brief tornado. Right now, the tornado situation is not like what's going on and has gone on in the southern United States today, like Arkansas and Tennessee and Kentucky, where those were long-tracked tornadoes. The tornado threat here is a short-lived, brief tornado that can definitely do damage, but isn't going to stick around for a long period of time that we can be confident in its track. So we are really emphasizing, if you're in the tornado warning, safe spot for now until the all clear is signaled. And we still have a long night ahead of us. This is only in western Ohio, starting to move into north central Ohio, where we still have yet to see any storm impacts in the Columbus metro area. This line has not made it there yet. Cincinnati, it hasn't made it to you yet, although it's getting close and it's moving quickly. So if you're in Cincinnati, I would be very much prepared to take action, especially because there are some tornado warnings near Louisville right now. So pretty much all of Louisville is under a tornado warning right now, and it's moving up I-71 towards Cincinnati. And the Weather Service has also issued a tornado possible considerable damage threat severe thunderstorm warning for northern Kentucky right across the state line from Cincinnati. So if you're in Cincinnati, you should be preparing. It's not there yet, but it's coming. And we still do have those tornado warnings here in the Dayton area, both until 12:15. Hopefully those will be allowed to expire, but we'll be watching it very closely as it moves to the Miami Valley, an area that unfortunately is all too familiar with tornado activity. Thankfully, though, Mark, I'm seeing on the Dayton radar out in Casstown area that we're not seeing a lot of low-level rotation. So that's good news. I'm hoping that we can cancel these tornado warnings in the next 12 minutes.
Yeah, that'd be good. It would be a little better if I still had some radar data. Just nothing is coming up. It's sketchy over here for some reason. I don't know why. I'm gonna try one other program I have. We'll go to Radar Scope here. Radar Scope's working.
Oof. Yes. So the Weather Service posted an update on the tornado warnings, or at least a update on their thinking. They are still getting a few signatures on radar that are indicating that the rotation is still present, but rather weak. But they still want to keep an eye on it And no reports of any tornado touchdowns with these tornado warnings yet. So, good news there.
That's
If there
good
was
news.
going to be a tornado that would spin up, though, there are two spots where it's going to happen. One, Laura and Potsdam, moving into Miami County, West Milton. So, still stay in your safe spot if you're there. Even Arcanum, just to the southeast of you. Or it's going to happen near Eaton. So, central Preble County, moving towards West Alexandria, Lewisburg, moving into Montgomery County near New Lebanon, Brookville, and Phillipsburg. Those are the two spots we're really, really watching right now. And we're really hoping this does not turn into a tornado situation. But these are moving very quickly. Again, these storms are moving at 60 miles per hour. So if I zoom out and draw our tracker on the first storm and track it at 60 miles an hour, these are some locations that it'll arrive at time-wise. So Brookville, you're looking at 12:17. That's 12 minutes. Trotwood, 12:21. Inglewood, 12:24. Shiloh, that is the Montgomery County Shiloh, not the Richland County one, but the Montgomery County Shiloh. Vandalia and the Dayton Airport at 12:29. So these are moving very quickly. So if it's not in your county yet, please be mindful that it could be moving into your county very, very quickly. Rotations tightened up a little bit near West Milton, but still not indicating a definite tornado situation. But I can certainly see why the Weather Service has elected to continue the tornado warning for at least another 10 minutes.
Yes, I agree with that. Um, Still potential. Yeah, potential there. The northern cell may have a little bit better time trying to do stuff than the one near Eaton and West Alexandria right now. That looks more linear to me, so I don't see too much there. But the one up near Pittsburgh and Potsdam, I agree that one could wrap back around. I would keep a very close eye on if I was in Troy, north side of Tip City, Pleasant Hill. You're just outside of that warning. There's also, I wanted to touch base real quick, a damage report out of Fostoria measured 79-mile-an-hour wind gust on a hand anemometer. Shingles were blown off the roof, and then there were 2 to 3 inch tree branches, 2 to 3 inch in diameter tree branches broken off a healthy tree. So those are some pretty gnarly winds. I
Wow,
know
you
a
said
couple of
a
people were,
hand
yeah,
anemometer?
hand
Oh, that's
anemometer.
impressive.
That's really impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple people were asking about the Toledo area. Toledo proper itself and much of Lucas County is not in a severe thunderstorm warning currently. It's a lot of heavy rain and some pretty gusty winds right now. Not seeing too much in the way of rotation at the moment. Um, you haven't really seen too much. There's some good inflow coming into the cells, but I'm not seeing some of that signs of rotation too much right now.
Right.
Um,
I am checking the nearest radar sites, which are Detroit, Cleveland, and northern
mhm,
Indiana, and I'm not seeing any indications of rotation either. But just like any of the storms along this line, they
could be
could
quick.
be popping up. Yeah, popping
Mm,
up. So pretty um, pretty wild.
I know you mentioned it earlier, Mike, but I would definitely, if you are in the Cincinnati area, if you're in pretty much any side of the Western Metro for the most part, Northern Kentucky, that far southeastern corner of Indiana, into the Cincinnati metro. I would keep an eye on those storms coming out of the Louisville area. They've had tornado warnings on them for quite a while.
Yeah.
Again, it's radar indicated, but they've had it for quite a while. They're moving fast, and they're going to be on top of those areas in not much time. So I would keep a very close eye on those areas as that could move in very very quick.
Yeah, there's definitely rotation going on that one north of Louisville near Charlestown,
Hmm.
Indiana, Goshen. Yeah, they are really holding together those southern storms. So yeah, and they are really heading right toward the Cincinnati metro area. So we'll be watching that over the next hour or so. Again, these storms are moving very quickly, 60 miles per hour. So it's going to be in Cincinnati right about within the hour. Well, in a little over an hour, about
Just
1:21
over
in the
an hour.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the Kentucky suburbs like Covington, Villa Hills, Newport, just before downtown. So, yeah, something we're really looking out for. One other thing I noticed, I did turn on the Dayton radar in Miami County, and it's not, again, I'm not seeing any significant rotation at the low levels because the nice thing about Miami County is we're really getting a good look at these storms at the surface because that radar site is so close. It's right here where on my screen it says T Day. So State Route 201, 202, Casstown, just east of Troy. Great news that it doesn't appear to be rotating at the low levels, but
That's good.
from the Wilmington radar, which is farther away, there is still some weak rotation between West Milton and Pleasant Hill. It's starting to leave the tornado warned area. So I'm hoping that this means the tornado warning will be expiring in 5 minutes. But, the fact that the storm does still have at least some mid level spin in it means that it still has the potential to maybe down the line spin something up. So we got to watch it really carefully. And a lot of these communities are places that have already seen storms tonight. So you're getting a second round. You're getting a lot of thunder and lightning with these. So, which can be scary on their own right. But really, it's the threat of the wind damage and straight line wind that's going to be the biggest for us. I'm not getting any lightning data, which I'd love to show you if I was getting it on my screen, but I am looking on my phone, my radar scope on my phone, and there is a lot of lightning.
A lot of lightning.
A lot
Yeah.
of lightning.
Also, I know a lot of people have been asking about, what's going to happen in the eastern part of the state, east of our tornado watch right now. The Storm Prediction Center just recently put out a discussion about a watch likely being issued east of there.
Okay.
I'm reading it right now. If I had to guess, they're probably going to stick with some severe thunderstorm watches. I don't know what type of watch they're going to issue. We try to guess sometimes, and many times we end up being wrong. Um, but I would anticipate, just kind of reading the text there that I was reading a moment ago, probably a severe thunderstorm watch. So if you're east of that current tornado watch right now, not under a watch, and you're still with us at about 12:15 in the morning, um, I would anticipate that going off on your phone probably in the next hour or so, as this line continues to push across the state. We did just recently get a report to Findlay Airport. The station there measured a 72-mile-an-hour wind gust. So these
Wow.
things are packing quite some wind with them. Just
You said the
that
Findlay
wind means
Airport.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, Findlay Airport.
So that storm is going to be the one that's currently entering. Really, that just rolled through Tiffin, and
Yep.
is entering the Bucyrus Upper Sandusky area. So Marion
Correct.
as well. Um, so yeah, if you're in Bucyrus, Willard, Shelby. I mean, Willard and Shelby aren't in the warning yet, but it's moving so fast. You might as well consider yourself in it. New Washington, um, Galleon, Ontario. I would be ready for this storm. It is really moving. Even places like Norwalk, and then stretching up into Erie and Lorain County eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So we are watching that one very quickly. Again, they're moving at about 60 miles per hour. So I can put a little storm track on this one, moving
And our
northeast.
tornado warnings have expired
Oh,
currently. So
good.
right now, no tornado warnings in the state of Ohio. However, they did just issue a new severe thunderstorm warning, a big one here, Mike. Hamilton County, Butler County, northwestern Claremont, western Warren, and southern Montgomery County till 1 a.m. It's moving east at 70 miles an hour near Milan, Indiana, 70-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail. So they do have that is considerable damage possible with that particular storm. That's going to impact a whole bunch of areas here, all around, all in and around the Cincinnati metro. It's not only just Cincinnati, but Mason, Hamilton, Oxford, Harrison, Forest Park, Springboro, Trenton, Lebanon, all in there. You're under that severe thunderstorm warning currently. Not tagged tornado possible at this time. Of course, that doesn't mean a whole lot sometimes.
Right.
So
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get down to that in just a second. But I just did want to do a little storm track for this northern storm. For those of us in north central and northeast Ohio, again, they're moving quickly at 60 miles per hour. So the storm near Bucyrus and Attica right now, that's going to be heading toward Willard within about 20 minutes. So we'll potentially see another severe thunderstorm warning issued for Huron and Richland County, maybe even stretching into Erie, Lorain, and Ashland County very soon. But some Cleveland metro area times for you. Lorain about 12:59 a.m. Elyria right around the same time. The western suburbs like North Olmsted, Westlake, and Brunswick at about 1:11 to 1:15. Lakewood and Parma about 1:18 to 1:20. Downtown Cleveland at 1:24, and from there we'll just have to see if the storm holds together. But for those folks, you're about an hour out, maybe a little bit less. All right, down to what Mark was saying. There's that severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for everywhere he just said. So that's Hamilton, Butler, and Warren County. This severe thunderstorm warning is a considerably tagged severe thunderstorm warning, meaning the wind gust potential is higher than normal. We're looking at 70 miles per hour potential. And this is moving east at 70 miles an hour. So highway speed, very, very fast. So let's put a storm track on that at 70 miles an hour. So here are some times. If we have anybody watching from northern Kentucky, near the CVG airport, Erlanger, we're looking at about 15 minutes, not far.
yeah, my parents live right there, Mike. They live in Florence, so
Oh,
I've already messaged them and everything, and I didn't hear from my mom yet, but I'm sure she's awake.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I they're just south of the airport there actually, so
Oh my.
I'm headed their way.
Well, I hope that they're safe and everyone in northern Kentucky and the Cincinnati metro stays safe too. Yeah, so that's Covington at 12:30, 15 minutes away. Downtown Cincinnati, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Norwood, another 10 minutes from that. Up north of that, Middletown, about 12:39. So Mason, you're probably looking at about 12. Oh, I don't know, 12:35. So for places like that. So this is a quick moving storm, as they have been. This is quicker than the storms up in the Cleveland area. So right now in our coverage area, it's all severe thunderstorm warnings. We do not have any tornado warnings in the state of Ohio at the moment, but we have a ton of severe thunderstorm warnings and areas that we are concerned about straight line wind damage. We are still very much watching for rotating storms. That's been happening for the last hour and a half now, where some of these storms with straight line wind potential have been firing up and becoming tornado warned. So, particularly the warning for Crawford and Seneca County, that is still tagged tornado possible. The warning that will probably get cut back here soon for Sandusky, Ottawa, in Wood counties, that's also tagged tornado possible. Let's see if any of the other ones are. Yeah, the one in Miami and northern Montgomery County, that one's tagged tornado possible because that storm has had a history of producing a tornado warning. So
We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning out, and it's going to overlap about four others. Uh,
okay.
it's going to be down just to the west of Cincinnati, Mike. It's going to
Ah,
be for mainly western Hamilton County and southwestern Ohio, and it is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning.
okay.
It's that whole line there moving northeast at 70 with 80-mile per hour winds. So yeah,
Yes.
like Mike said, if you're near CVG Airport, Florence, Kentucky, Burlington, Union, Rising Sun, Lawrenceburg, Addiston, Harrison, Taylor's Creek, anywhere on that west side of I-275, especially along and west of the I-74 junction. That's going to slam into you here shortly.
Yeah.
It is really a nasty looking cell right there, but that warning looks really goofy because it's just overlapping so many things.
Right. And in the overlapping is because they had to update this to destructive.
Right,
I would consider this like a tornado warning.
I
At
would
this
too.
point, not only that, and the Weather Service has pointed this out, and I see it here too. If you look right here, you see how the leading edge of the wind is kind of wavy, like down here,
Yeah, oh yeah,
just along the Ohio River,
that's
where
a
the
good
most
view.
intense rain, the most intense winds are. We could see a spin up tornado here.
Hmm.
Not only alongside the 80-mile-per-hour wind threat, but this is a spot where a tornado could spawn, because back down here toward Louisville, we actually do have tornado warnings in effect. So really, this whole area of northern Kentucky is under the gun, but that does include a part of the Cincinnati metro. So in on the Ohio side, so that's going to be western Hamilton County. That's going to be places like Cheviot and Cleves and Harrison, the Sailor Park area of Cincinnati. Um, that is along the river, along US 50 here, so that is going to be under this destructive severe thunderstorm warning. And yes, the CVG airport. So if you know anybody who might be there or working or something like that,
We
um,
also
go ahead.
hate to interrupt. We got another severe thunderstorm warning. This is in northeastern, north central Ohio. Big severe thunderstorm warning covering Huron County, northwestern Richland, Ottawa, eastern Seneca, Erie, western Medina, northern Ashland, eastern Sandusky, northern Crawford, and Lorain County, Ohio. Severe thunderstorm warning until 1:15 a.m. And that's that line that's we were talking about not too long ago, coming out of the Tiffin area, moving towards Bucyrus, and coming into the Willard area now too. It's moving to the east at 55 miles an hour with 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts possible. Not tagged tornado possible, but definitely pretty considerable wind damage threat there with that one. So places like Willard, Norwalk, Wakeman, all of Lorain County. I'm not even going to name towns. Western side of Medina County, so like places like Valley City, Litchfield, Spencer, northern Ashland, mainly into Nova, Bailey Lake, northern Richland into Plymouth and Shiloh, north side of Shelby as well, all kind of in that. By the way, Mike, that warning includes me, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, well, certainly let us know. Um,
If I drop off, you'll know.
I'll know. Well, yeah, we'll be monitoring down here in Columbus too. But yeah, so let's get some times based on what Mark said there. That's going to be in, like he said, all of Lorain County, all of Huron County, and all of Erie County. It's going to be in the Lorain area by about 102, and then the western suburbs of Cleveland, like North Olmsted and Westlake, at about 116, 117. A little more in the inner ring suburbs, like Lakewood and Parma, about 124, 128. So that includes Cleveland Hopkins Airport. And then over on the east side, Garfield Heights, East Cleveland, about 134 to 137. That includes Cleveland, Shaker, University Heights over that way. And then we'll see what it does as it interacts moving through the metro and then points east after that. But that's what it's looking like for the Cleveland area. And this is tagged considerable because it has a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust threat. And just like any of the storms that have fired up this evening, we are going to be watching them very closely for any spin ups that may occur. I don't believe that we have any indication of that occurring, as the line does seem to be bowing and rather indicating a straight line wind threat. So that's Willard, Shelby, Plymouth, right on top of you right now. Norwalk soon, Greenwich, anywhere in North Fairfield and central Huron County, you're going to be under the gun next. But so will Bucyrus, Shelby, and even if you're in Crestline, Galleon, Ontario, OSU Mansfield, even places like that, I'd be really looking out, because what's going on in Bucyrus seems to be gusty as well. So we'll see if the Weather Service in Cleveland decides to issue a warning for maybe Richland County here soon. So yeah, intense situation going on there. Again, still no tornado warnings across the state. But let's just look at this situation we're in right now. I'm going to zoom way out and try to put this all in the map for everyone to see. And I'm just going to basically turn the radar off for a second. All of the yellow counties are the tornado watch. That runs until 4 o'clock this morning. We have not really seen any counties get canceled early because some spots are seeing a second round. The orange, that's your severe thunderstorm warning. Those are locations that are possibly getting 60 to 70, maybe 80 mile per hour wind. And we do have further to the south 2 tornado warnings closer to Louisville, Kentucky. Those I'm more concerned about for southwestern Ohio and the Cincinnati metro area within the hour. And then way back down here in Tennessee, a couple more tornado warnings as well. So not nearly as many tornado warnings as there were earlier this evening, but we here in the Buckeye State are very much still under the threat for some strong severe weather tonight. The strongest right now is heading toward northern Kentucky, where a destructive severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, meaning that 80 mile per hour wind potential is possible. And Mark, this is quite impressive. I know you're familiar with this with the northern Kentucky region. We definitely see a very wavy line of damaging wind that's crossing the Ohio River from Indiana into Kentucky and then eventually into Cincinnati on the Ohio side. And
Yes.
we're getting some really good radar data from CVG.
We sure are. That's quite impressive there. Um, and like you mentioned earlier, it wouldn't take much for a quick spin up or something like that to really make a very quick but brief tornado. Um, that's yeah. I mean, it's very strong. So that is wow. Yeah, that is crazy. Some of the things in there. Um, Yeah, that's about to. I want to say. Let me see here. Where are we at? Come on, turn it off. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, that's about to cross the river. So that's pretty much heading right towards my parents' house. It's going to be there in a few minutes.
Oh
I
boy.
did message them. They're if they're sleeping, they're about to be awakened. Uh,
Yeah. No
but
kidding.
I worry
Yeah.
about that a little bit because it's wooded where they're at, and
Yeah.
I do worry about that a little bit, but think they'd be okay. But anyway, um, that's some really really strong winds there. That's impressive.
Yeah. So, and because it's entering a pretty populated area, plus the airport, we're probably going to get some good,
We'll get
um,
some good readings.
get some good readings, get some ground truth to see what is actually happening here. Let me switch it over to rain mode, reflectivity mode, just to see, just to show you that you're gonna get blasted with some heavy rain on top of all of this wind, and there's a good deal of lightning with it. The lightning data for some reason isn't showing up on my screen, even though I believe I have it turned on. Um, but I have an alternate radar on my phone that is showing a lot of lightning, so I certainly believe it. Any of these storms are going to have a lot of lightning with them. The lightning threat will diminish a little bit as the storms continue to move east, but there's a lot of wind energy. It is nighttime, so we're not getting any energy from the sun. Not a whole lot of instability, but there's just so much wind energy that it's continuing to drive these storms, particularly um, in producing damaging wind. A good chunk of northern Ohio is under a severe thunderstorm warning right now, including that one we just talked about that's pretty much everywhere west of Cleveland, from Cleveland to Toledo, with several overlapping warnings and many locations up there, particularly right now. Willard, Shelby, Norwalk, that are bearing the brunt right now. So yeah, if you're in Willard, you're about to get hit with this. Attica, it's on top of you right now. Norwalk, maybe about 5 minutes away. North Fairfield, and this does include northern Richland County. But honestly, I would still be watching closely if you're in Crestline, Ontario, Mansfield, even as far south as Lexington. This could be stretching your way because we do have a strong severe, or I should say, a severe thunderstorm that is stretches all the way down to Marion. So we just got a radar update there. Yeah, Willard. It's time to be away from the windows in Willard. It's right on top of you there. Going downstream a little bit. Um, with a lot of rain and a lot of wind stretching from Indian Lake, Bellefontaine, Sydney, Troy, Urbana, and Springfield. You are going to get blasted with some wind here as well. This storm in Miami County is still tagged tornado possible because of its history of producing a tornado warning. Not right now, but we do see a couple areas that maybe could get a little spinny here. Particularly a little area north of St. Paris. There's some rotation there along the Champaign, Miami, and Shelby County line where those three counties come together. It's weak, but there is a little bit of rotation there. So this is kind of what we're going to be looking at over the next couple of hours is places where there's going to be pockets of rotation. And that's why the tornado watch is in effect so late tonight until 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so just to update us on the southwestern Ohio situation, destructive severe thunderstorm warning for northern Kentucky, including the western fringe of Hamilton County. And oh, here we go. Look at this near Rising Sun, Indiana, and right across the state line. When we see little waves and kinks in the line like this, and we're getting a really, really good look at it from CVG. I'm wondering if that's possibly going to spin something up here.
That if it does, it's going to happen real fast.
Yeah. All right, so I think we need to focus on this here because while yes,
yeah, that's going to eventually that whole package gets into Ohio, but I mean, we're just right across the border there, and that's a nice little kink in the line, like you said, just to the east of Rising Sun. So that's going to be in Boone County, Kentucky there. So if you're in Union, it's outside of Florence, Independence. If you're, I mean, it's not too far from Oak Brook, which is where my parents are. That's kind of concerning right now, but yeah, it's not too far. But yeah, it's not producing anything, but at the moment, but it is, like Mike said, that's an interesting feature nonetheless, and these things do happen when we see lines like this. And yeah, actually, I'm looking at Wilmington right now too, Mike, and I think TCVG is a better view, but the Wilmington radar has a little bit of something going on there too.
Yeah,
So
sure does, especially
it's
in this.
trying.
Yeah, especially in the latest scan, and the fact that they're in the same spot really does help us track that and show that it's an area we really need to watch. So that's going to be right near the airport, Florence.
Yeah, you're gonna be just south of Cincy Airport.
Yeah. And then as it moves into the 275 loop, then you're really talking about a lot of people, especially Covington, Newport, downtown Cincinnati. Yeah, so it's rotating. It's rotating in the mid levels for sure because we're scanning a little higher in the atmosphere with the Wilmington radar. But we did just see a little kink in the line from CVG, which is scanning really low. Oh, and looks like we have a severe thunderstorm warning update.
Okay.
Destructive. Okay. All right. Let me try to read the.
Yeah, that did update. Severe thunderstorm located near Burlington, Kentucky, moving northeast at 70. It is still destructive. 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Okay. Let's see.
They also updated the one that's for Cincinnati and points north just a couple minutes ago, but no change to anything there. 70-mile-an-hour winds are possible with that line of storms moving across the Indiana border right now.
Yeah, I mean it's rushing straight in across the line. Um, all right, let's see. We also got an alert from one of our other Bell Park and Ohio News and Weather forecasters. Um, Tyler is saying that near Eaton, Ohio, in Preble County, um, there is some mid-level rotation showing up on the Wilmington radar, and I see it here. So again, this is Eaton in central Preble
Yeah,
County.
I see it too.
There's a little bit of weak rotation there. Something certainly needing to watch, as it will be moving once again through the northern Dayton metro area. I don't really see anything on the radar out of Miami County, which is a little closer. But the
Yeah.
Wilmington radar down in Clinton County is showing it a little bit scanning higher. So it's there. There's some rotation there, but we'll have to really watch that one closely. A lot of spots that we got to watch really close tonight, unfortunately, which I know it makes it tough to track and tough to answer everyone's questions, but we are certainly trying to make sure that um, the the most impacted areas are getting properly warned. And Mark, wow, this is really impressive still on CBG. This is about to pass over the I-75, I-71 interchange down near Walton and right
Mm-hmm.
over the CBG radar. So I wonder if, with your aviation expertise, what they would do at the airport at this hour.
Well, there's probably not a ton going on there. Cincinnati does a lot of cargo hauling, especially a lot of international stuff. But
Hmm,
probably this time of night, not too much going on at Cincinnati. Probably pretty quiet. But
that's good.
um,
Yeah.
usually, what happens when storms move in, if the ramps are active, they typically close the ramps, get the people off the ramps and inside until everything passes. So um, yeah, it's not fun, but definitely with that wind moving through, I would not want to be out on that ramp. That's for
Yeah.
sure. That's a that's a nasty time there for sure. So
Yeah, and wow, yeah, that wind is very intense down near Walton. They're about to get slammed with that. And again,
yeah,
oh, here we go. I don't know. There's no tornado warning on it, but look at this scan right here south of Union.
oh,
That's concerning.
yeah,
Looks like we're getting some wind wrapping around the back of it and some rotation there. We're getting really good. We're gonna have to watch to see if this gets warned, and if it does, and if it stretches into Cincinnati.
yeah. If
Um,
I mean, depending on exactly how they draw that box, it could hit the southern fringes of it. But honestly, at this point, have to make a hard left turn to even hit Cincinnati.
right.
Um, by the time
Yeah.
they do, but yeah, definitely, it's still trying to get its act together and do something there. Um, Looking further east, since it's a further east motion than anything now, it looks like so kind of east of Independence, Alexandria, New Richmond, California, Kentucky. There, then you
Yeah.
get across the river. It's kind of rural there. Amelia, Bethel, that's kind of headed that way in a sense.
Yeah.
But that is definitely wrapping up over Union right there for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, yep. Here. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if we even had something that spun up. So
I wouldn't
we're gonna
either.
keep a really close eye on the weather service and see if they what they elect to do with it. But if you're in northern Kentucky, like places like Independence, maybe the south side of Florence, Taylor Mill, Highland Heights, out toward northern Kentucky University. Um, it's moving quick, so why don't you go ahead and get to your safe spot? And that does
Yes.
include the eastern region of Hamilton County, so like Anderson Township, Amelia, um, and into Claremont County as well, Batavia, 275, Riverbend area. I would be really watching out for this because it has shown signs of really, really wanting to do something rotation wise near Union, Kentucky. So, and
Yeah.
I have some friends in the area myself, so I might have to be texting them here shortly.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Oh yeah. All right. Well, we'll be
Yeah.
keeping an eye on it. A lot of lightning, a lot of rain, a lot of wind. And I think I think another thing I should mention briefly too is a couple things. One, on a night like tonight, just a reminder of safe locations during a tornado warning. So this part of Kentucky, particularly if you're near like Northern Kentucky University or somewhere where there's probably a lot of people living in apartments, trying to get to the lowest level of your building is really critical and away from windows. This is what saved a lot of lives during the Dayton tornadoes back in 2019, is people living in multiple story apartments getting to that lowest level, getting into the stairwells, and hunkering down until it's over. And the second thing is we are going to be seeing a lot of rain over the next few days. We're going to see some flooding along, especially in the river valleys. So we really have to be watching out of that and be prepared for that as well. Okay, so good news is that area of rotation doesn't seem as strong right now, so that might give me an opportunity to move into northern Ohio again, and talk about a report that we got from our own Owen Fritz. He says that there is a semi on its side with entrapment. Okay, so what that means is possibly someone trapped in an overturned semi in Sandusky County, and part of a barn roof on the road. So we are getting damage reports. We are getting vehicle accident reports in Sandusky County. So that makes sense. And this is the line that's now marching through Huron and Erie County. So if you're in Lorain County, or if you're in Vermilion, Wakeman, New London, along US 20 towards Oberlin and Elyria, this storm has had the history of producing some damage, including a barn and possibly an overturned semi. So, really, really watching it. And it's moving very quickly. It's moving still at about 60 to 70 miles per hour. So the western suburbs of Cleveland, you have less than an hour now there, maybe closer to 40 minutes. And that includes Hopkins Airport and everywhere on the west side of Cleveland, and even in Medina County. So rural Medina County, but still. So we're going to be watching for that along 42 and 71 here within the next 30 to 40 minutes. So a lot going on there. We are receiving some rather good news. We're definitely not in the clear yet, but the weather are in our discussion with our partners at the National Weather Service, and I'm seeing it too on my end. We are starting to see that the atmosphere is stabilizing a little bit. That's good. Stable is good. It keeps us from harnessing that potential energy that the atmosphere has to produce storms. So that may indicate that points east of the tornado watch, so if you're not in the tornado watch, your threat for severe weather tonight is lower. But I'm still really watching out for really the 3 C's. Cincinnati, it's basically on top of you now. Dayton, it's on top of you now. You're getting a lot of wind and rain. Columbus, you still got some time in Columbus. But we're going to have to watch to see if that wind threat holds together for Columbus. Probably within the next 30 to 40 minutes, maybe a little bit longer because of the storm moving northeast. So our storm tracker doesn't really bring it into Columbus for another about 50 minutes. So, but we're still watching very closely with 2 million people in the path at that point. So, but the good news is we'll hopefully start to see some weakening trends as it moves into more central and eastern Ohio. But as soon as I said that, we have very, very intense storms, Cincinnati, all the way down into Kentucky near Louisville. In fact, there is an observed tornado ongoing to the east of Louisville, down that way. So again, it's not our coverage area, but I just want to show you that we're still seeing some areas that are still very much under the gun for some very dangerous weather tonight. And we want to make sure that those that are in the path of severe weather still are going to be um, warned. So severe thunderstorm warning coverage is diminishing a little bit too, but we have a lot of populated areas that are really seeing the wind, particularly this storm, which I kind of want to look at on the Cleveland airport radar. Okay, now we're not really seeing anything rotating or too crazy. And the Cleveland Weather Service radar isn't working entirely right now. So, okay. Well, anyway, yeah, if you're in Lorain County, be prepared.
Yeah, it's coming my way.
Yeah. And just some updates on some of the other warnings that we have across the region. The Weather Service has elected not to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Richland County. It does seem like it's breaking up a little bit south of Shelby. So Mansfield, you're still looking at some strong storms, some thunder, lightning, and heavy rain, and some gust of wind, maybe up to about 50, 55 miles per hour, which is still strong. But they have elected not to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for the rest of Richland and Ashland County at this time. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Hardin County, including Kenton and Ada. That is going to expire at 1:15, so we still have a half hour on that one. And we have no other severe thunderstorm warnings until we get to the ones in the Cincinnati area, and these are the really damaging ones that we've been tracking for quite some time. And there's still a lot of waves in this line, and waves in the line really tell me that there's the potential for rotation, and I'm even kind of seeing it near Middletown. Maybe there might be something going on. Yeah, I don't know. I think we might have to watch Middletown to see if anything might spin up around there. Nothing right now, but just the way it looks on.
Yeah, it's got a little inflow there to it. I agree.
Yeah.
It does look a little suspect. I mean, even on reflectivity, to an extent, it looks a little odd. But when you pull up the velocity, it's trying to do something there. I don't know if that'll get going too much.
Right.
Boy, downtown Cincinnati getting hammered right now.
Oh, absolutely. High wind, heavy rain, maybe even some hail on the west side of Cincinnati. So Cheviot area down toward Sailor Park and Price Hill, Clifton, University of Cincinnati, probably going to be getting hit here soon.
Yep, any moment.
All those spots. So if you're in any of those places I mentioned, we are still under the gun for 70 mile per hour wind. Now I'm even seeing a little bit of hail. That's the pink on the radar. Let's go back to the radar out of CVG. Okay, so it looks like the wind has passed the radar. The strongest winds are now on the red side, meaning that they're moving away from the radar. You know, it'd be kind of cool to put a little loop on this. See if we can't loop it and watch it go through. Yeah, you can kind of watch the wind go through and past the radar. We had a couple areas of rotation, and now it's blasted through and is moving into... Well, it's in Kenton County now. Eventually it'll be in Campbell County and then pushing toward Anderson Township and then into Claremont County. So, okay. So, no, I don't see any rotation right now. Well, maybe this little spot south of Walton. But, again, that's not our coverage area, and it doesn't seem to be definitive at the moment. Really, we're watching downtown Cincinnati and the suburbs of Cincinnati really getting slammed with that straight line wind. And will be probably for another 10 to 20 minutes as it marches its way very quickly to the east. Oh, and likewise, a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is a regular severe thunderstorm warning, so no destructive or considerable damage, but it's a big one.
That is a big one.
Yeah, this is going to be Xenia, Wilmington. Uh, we have Amelia and Batavia, Hillsborough, Georgetown, Blanchester, Mason, Lebanon, all those spots. And even just outside of Washington Courthouse, which Fayette County is still recovering from a tornado from the other day. So we're really hoping that this storm does not do that, produce a tornado, and any damage from any straight line wind is minimal. But again, brand new severe thunderstorm warning coming to us for a big swath of southwestern Ohio. It even includes southern Montgomery County, so Centerville, Miami Township down near Austin Landing, Bellbrook in Greene County. You're going to be getting blasted with wind here very soon. And this storm, whoa, it is moving east at 75 miles an hour. All right. So let's put a track on that. 75 miles an hour. Moving east. So it is going to be, well, Mason, it's on top of you right now. So that's Kings Island area. So places like Springboro, Lebanon, Loveland, it's on you. Wilmington, about 109. So our friends at the Weather Service will be getting that. Washington Courthouse, about 126. And this looks to stay south of the Columbus Metro, but it will move into places like Chillicothe and Circleville a little bit later if it holds together. We hope it starts to weaken and show a weakening trend, but we are really watching this storm haul at 75 miles per hour. So if you're in the warning, you don't really have a whole lot of time to prepare. Okay. It actually looks like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning in north central Ohio now. All right. So we have this one for Wyandotte, Crawford, Marion, Morrow, and far western Richland County. And that's going to run into 1:30. So we still have about
40 minutes.
40 minutes on that one. It's a regular severe thunderstorm warning, but it should still be taken seriously. And it is for 60 mile per hour wind potential and maybe even some hail that's just maybe about a penny size or something like that. So the main threat is the wind here. Not seeing any rotation on that one. In fact, the good news is we are really not seeing many rotation signatures anymore. There's still that tornado warning down between Louisville and Cincinnati, which did produce a tornado. It says tornado observed, but that's not in our coverage area, and I'm really hoping that it will start to fall apart as it moves into an area that's already been worked over by storms or already seen storms, so the energy will be a little bit weaker in areas that have already seen thunder activity tonight. So, all right, so two main areas of severe weather right now, both for the Cleveland and Cincinnati metro areas. We have this one moving into Lorain County now. So if you're in Lorain County, sorry, Mark, you're going to get slammed with this. Hopefully everything's okay.
Yeah. It's coming.
It's coming. Do you see are you able to see any lightning where you're at, or?
I'm in the basement, so no.
Gotcha. I'm here in Columbus, and my window in this room faces east, so I'm not seeing anything. Seems like go ahead.
My weather station's been prompting me for plenty of lightning alerts, though, so it's there.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. I may try to. We have Owen's report of an overturned semi, and I may try to put that on. It doesn't show any information, so I believe we're okay to use it, and it is Owen's. But let's see, display caption. See if this works. There's no identifying information in it, so we're probably okay to share it unless he chimes in and says not to. But quick. Display. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is, if you can see my screen here, is an overturned semi near Clyde. So there we go. There, it's on your screen now. So serious situation there, and this is again a reason why we have to be so careful with high-profile vehicles. And I'm not faulting anyone. The driver is certainly an expert, but it's a freak thing. But that's why these severe thunderstorm warnings. Sure, it's not a tornado warning, and it doesn't sound as scary, but boy, can it really, really cause some damage. So I am really hoping that the driver is okay here. But this was our own Owen Fritz who is on the scene. There out near Clyde, Ohio. I believe that's on route.
U.S. Route 20.
U.S. Route 20. Okay, yeah, so that's a major route. If I put it up on our radar, I can take that down. Yeah, so US 20 near Clyde. So that is going to be here, right there in the center of your screen.
We still see your browser.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, I think I took it down now.
Okay.
Yeah. That was not intentional, but it happens. Okay, and this is from that line of strong thunderstorms that's in Lorain and eastern Huron County and northern Ashland County right now. So if you're in Amherst, Oberlin, Wellington, it's on top of you. New London, northern Ashland, so Bailey Lake, Savannah, Polk, Nova, some small towns there. You're under the gun. Spencer, Grafton, Columbia Station, Avon Lake, North Ridgeville, Elyria. It's coming. So I would not be surprised if the Weather Service decides to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Cuyahoga and the rest of Medina County here pretty soon. And that's a lot of people. That's over 1 million people. So we're gonna have to watch that very closely to see what the trends are with this storm. We could probably get a good look from the Cleveland airport radar. Okay, so it's got a lot of wind in it, from New London to Wakeman to Vermilion, but not as impressive wind-wise as the one down near CVG was. So I'm hoping that's good news for you guys up there in Lorain and western Cuyahoga County. We're not really getting a good look at the wind in Bucyrus, Upper Sandusky, Marion. The Cleveland radar is not doing a great job with wind, or with the velocity data. So we're seeing some gusty wind that is essentially moving across Crawford into northern Richland County. So places like Shelby, Mansfield, so OSU Mansfield, Ontario. Even if you're in Lexington, you're not in the warning in Lexington, my hometown. But you should be watching closely there in western Richland County. Let's go back down here to our most powerful storm, the one that's moving through the Cincinnati metro area. Not seeing a whole lot in terms of rotation potential, but a lot of wind. The wind is really, really howling. Riverbend area, so that's down here, 275, Anderson Township. Now moving into Amelia, so the 275 area. So that's going to be places like 8 Mile Road, US 32, out near Eastgate where the Jungle Gyms is. And then US 50 towards Owensville, the Appalachian Highway. Those are going to be places that are just going to get pounded with straight line wind. Damaging wind that is a serious situation. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with what we call a considerable damage tag on it, meaning that it has the potential to produce 70 mile per hour wind, and I certainly believe that. This is where the bulk of I think the damage is going to be within the next hour or so, and we are still seeing some indication that if there's going to be any rotation that pops up, this is where it's probably going to happen. We have in this line of severe storms, the line of storms are a little bit wavy. Like it's not a perfect bow, echo, or line. So when you get that, that's where those little spin-ups can happen. If you were with us a bit ago when we were tracking the storm near CVG, that's the thing we were looking for. This is the same storm, so we're still really watching it closely. But it's moving quickly and certainly packing a punch. And as soon as it comes, it goes. But it can do a lot of damage in a really short amount of time. Yeah, okay. So here it is. Amelia, it's basically on top of you right now. Starting to calm down a little bit in Anderson. Eastgate, you're getting slammed right now. But if you're listening from there, you probably know that. But it's a good time to be away from the window. And then moving east very quickly. I think this. What is this moving at? Let me see if I can't get my information. Oh, we actually have some new information to share as well. The National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center has issued a severe thunderstorm watch for the rest of Ohio. So if you are not in the yellow, which is the tornado watch, so that still includes Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland, places like Akron, Youngstown, New Philly, Cambridge, Marietta, Athens, you are now in a severe thunderstorm watch. Here, I realized I was covering it up on my screen there. You're under a severe thunderstorm watch until 7 a.m. So this is as this line continues to move through Ohio. The Storm Prediction Center and our weather service partners are confident that the tornado threat is diminishing. However, the threat for straight line wind is still significant. So we're going to be watching that here very closely. All right, we got an indication that we may have a tornado over 5 points. So let's zoom in.
Come on.
All right, thank you, Brant, for that. Just south of Dayton. All right, so let's switch to the Wilmington radar.
Yeah, there's definitely some rotation there for sure. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
There may be something there for sure. Oh, that just got better on that latest scan.
Yeah. All right. Wow. All right. So we're watching this. Again, this is why we're still under a tornado watch, is because... Oh, and now we have a tornado warning. Okay.
There it is. Yep.
There we are. All right. We have a tornado warning now for Warren County, mostly Greene County, and southeastern Montgomery County. This is going to run until 1:15 in the morning. It's a quick one, but we've got a lot to talk about here. All right. So here it is. So if you're in Centerville, you need to be in your safe spot. There we go. There's the new scan. Centerville, it's leaving Centerville, but still stay safe. Bellbrook, get to your safe spot right now. Spring Valley, safe spot right now. Xenia, safe spot right now.
Yes.
This is moving very, very quickly. Let's see. Let me see if I can get more details on this
Yeah,
one.
if you're in Bellbrook or Spring Valley, south side of Centerville, Centerville's gonna be out of it, but Bellbrook, Spring Valley needs to be sheltering like literally right now. Like there's no time. Xenia, downtown Xenia, probably about the next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
On that. So yeah, if you're in Xenia right now, this isn't 1974 all over again. Don't get crazy. Just calmly go seek shelter, and take care of yourself. Don't worry about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Radar indicated rotation. There's no confirmed tornado being reported, although being 1 in the morning and it's wrapped in rain, it's not really going to know if there's a tornado there until after the fact. So don't wait for that.
All right, and let's see here. We may have. Hold on 1 sec. Oh, I think Brant is on the call with us now. Hello there, Brant.
Hello, can you hear me? There we
I
are.
Hear
I
you.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Hello. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Just got home, getting settled in, and we have one of arguably the strongest signature we've seen all night.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, Bellbrook really needs to be really right now safe spot. Even the south side of Beaver Creek, Sugar Creek, Spring Valley, which is which gets rural, but there's a lot of people in Bellbrook, Sugar Creek, and Beaver Creek,
Oh yeah.
and certainly Xenia, Wilberforce, so Central State, Cedarville, Cedarville University, Shawnee Hills. This is um, a pretty, despite the ruralness of Central Greene County, still a lot of people that live here. So, and this was a quick little spin up, but here we are with the tornado threat. Um, so yeah, in Greene County, you're probably hearing the tornado sirens, and it's moving very quickly. It is moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. That's why if you're in the tornado warning, you really don't have time to be messing around with this. Um, right now, though, like where I'm most concerned about would be State Route 725. So that's what connects Centerville with Spring Valley and US 42. Runs right through Bellbrook. Let's see if I can get some other street names for you guys here. Maybe not. Um, but it is really coming at you, especially for Xenia. Yes, this is not going to be. This is not going to be 1974 levels, but it could certainly cause some significant damage for many communities along the way. Um, Especially in Bellbrook. If you are in Bellbrook, you should be in your safe spot, away from windows, down on the lowest level of your home. Yes, that does include Sugar Creek. Sugar Creek, if you are able to get to the lowest level of your home, away from windows, preferably a basement, but if you don't have one, like a bathroom or somewhere that doesn't have a window. And we still have a lot of lightning with this. This is not going to be something that you're going to be able to chase, because these are moving so quickly and so essentially wrapped in rain, and it's nighttime. Don't even bother going out to try to look at it. This is going to be something where you need to be in your safe spot. A lot of lightning. I am not necessarily seeing a tornado debris signature, but let's see here.
That is
Yeah.
definitely the tightest couplet we've seen so far tonight. Right along. Well, it just updated. We're getting new scans in here, and that's the great thing about the. It can work in our favor and not. So a lot of the times on busy nights like this, where there's a few minutes in between radar scans here, so a lot can happen in a 2 or 3 minute period. Mark and Mike, that we could miss. I mean, we only get a scan every 3 or 4 minutes, and a lot of stuff can happen in that 3 or 4 minutes. That's why it's very important for you to respect the polygon if you're inside it and seek shelter, as things can spin up very quickly. But arguably, a couple scans ago, I would say that was one of the best looking signatures that we have seen all night, just southwest of Bellbrook there, moving up toward Washington Mills, guys.
Yeah. I do want to say this though, just to provide some comfort for anyone who may be watching from either Centerville or south eastern Montgomery County. Montgomery County is in the clear right now. So if you're in Montgomery County, you're in the clear from the tornado threat. So the sirens may be still going off in Centerville, Kettering maybe, but you're okay there. But Bellbrook, it is right on top of you. It's still looking pretty impressive on radar. We're getting a good scan because we're not terribly far from the Wilmington radar site down in Clinton County. So the nice thing about this part of Ohio is we actually do have really good radar coverage here in central Greene County. So Bellbrook, Xenia, Wilberforce, again, both Central State and Cedarville University, you should be in your safe spot. Okay, so this latest scan shows at least a little bit of weakening when it comes to the rotation, but a lot of wind.
Warning.
Oh, another tornado warning. Yes, we
Yep,
do.
just south of that. That's actually going to be for Warren and Clinton counties. This one goes until 1:30. Radar indicated a storm capable of producing a tornado over Morrow. And Morrow sounds familiar because they just got hit by a tornado on
Yeah,
Sunday night. So
they
this
sure
one,
did.
again, for the Morrow area, moving northeast at 60 mile per hour. Again, that is for Warren and Clinton counties, just south of our current warning. And that goes until 1:30 in the morning, guys.
Yeah, that's headed right for the Weather Service radar at the moment.
Yeah. So we'll have to see if our partners at the Weather Service may have to shelter uh, if this does hold together, and we can kind of see where that is. That's going to be right along US 22 near Morrow. So some spots there. If you're familiar with that, there's the Valley Vineyards that's down there. We have the Morgan's campgrounds right along the Little Miami River there. So those are all locations where this is on top of right now. So be very, very careful. And this is moving up to the northeast. Let me see if I can get some. Let's see if we can get motion. Northeast at 60. So yeah, it's going to be going along US 22 up into Clinton County, right toward Wilmington. So if you're in Wilmington, you certainly need to be taking cover. But let's also watch this Xenia storm. This one is still looking pretty favorable to possibly produce a tornado. It is now moving into Xenia now. So Bellbrook, you're in the clear now, but Xenia needs to be in their safe spot. And again, I want to emphasize the students at Central State and Cedarville University really should be finding their safe spots. If you're in an apartment, the lowest level, under the stairs, that saved a lot of lives during the Dayton tornadoes. So people doing that and seeing that firsthand was very profound. So be very mindful of where your safe spot is if you are in Central Greene County, including Xenia, Wilberforce, and Cedarville. That is following the US 42 trajectory, and then this one down here is following the US 22 trajectory. So Clarksville, you're in the tornado warning. The city of Wilmington, you're in the tornado warning. That includes I-71 from roughly mile 40 to mile 50. So mile 50 would be the US 68 interchange. And then mile 40 would be roughly before the Clinton and Warren County line. So, all right, we've got 2 tornado warnings and even a new severe thunderstorm warning to go with it, it looks like. This is for north of the Xenia tornado warning. And it's for 60 mile per hour wind for the city of Springfield up toward Yellow Springs, and then it even does stretch into Madison County. So this is starting to be moving into the Columbus metro area. So if you've been watching us from Columbus, your threat is not over. In fact, I've even seen some lightning starting to show up outside my window here in southwest Columbus. So it is approaching. But really our main focus is going to be these tornado warnings, particularly right here on the west side of Xenia, where 35 kind of bends around the south side of the city. That is going to be a spot, but Wilberforce, it's right there. So it's moving so fast, I can barely talk about it in time. That's why we really emphasized why Xenia, Wilberforce, Cedarville, you all need to be in your safe spot. And we will monitor trends very carefully to see if this will carry into Clark County. So that'd be a place like South Charleston, maybe even Madison County, like South Solon. Southern Madison County already recovering from a tornado the other day. So very, very important to be in your safe spot. All right, down here in, let's see, eastern Warren, heading into western Clinton County. Some of these areas of rotation really along and between I-71 and US 22. So Clarksville, you absolutely need to be in your safe spot. It is on top of you right now. We can see the reds and greens on the radar. Trying to make sure. So it's going away, and that's going toward. So that area of red and green north of Clarksville might not be where our rotation is, but where it might be is here. Near
They actually just
Clarksville.
let that warning expire. The northern warning there. So we're just down to the one that you're speaking of, down
Okay.
in Clinton and Warren counties.
Okay, so they are going to let the Xenia one expire. That is good news. Um, we like to see that. It was going to expire in 2 minutes anyway, but the southern one runs until 1:30, so we're going to just have to kind of see if this one fires back up. I mean, we're still going to watch this one because a storm that's produced rotation once certainly bears monitoring for it to possibly do that again. But yeah, we're going to be watching this tornado warning really for the next 15 minutes. So if you're in Clarksville, it's on top of you right now. If you're in Wilmington, you have maybe a few minutes. Get to your safe spot in Wilmington. We will. We're going to monitor I'm going to monitor what's going on with the weather service in Wilmington to see if they are going to be sheltering. They may have to, but we will kind of see what's going on with them because they're just south of Wilmington there in the tornado warning. Otherwise, some locations in between: State Route 730, U.S. Route 68, and State Route 134, which goes south out of Wilmington. Wilmington College. Let's not forget about Wilmington College. There's some students there, I'm sure, that should be sheltering. Again, if you're in an apartment, lowest level of the apartment, getting under the stairs, all super important.
And I think it's important to mention that obviously treat it like a tornado warning because there is one in place, and obviously we want to give that all the respect that it deserves. But I think it's also important to note, guys, that as we just got a huge severe thunderstorm warning in downstream of this. But I think it's very important to note that we are fairly close to the radar, as Mike's been saying. The National Weather Service office, it sits in Wilmington, and that's where the radar is located as well. And we are really, really close to it. So the fact that we're seeing these winds this close to the radar site, it's fairly low to the ground. We're looking less than 1,000 feet in the air, and that is giving us a very good idea of what's happening close to the ground there. Picking up just north of Pansy a radar indicated wind of 90 miles per hour, guys. So not only are you dealing with a tornado, but the least you're going to get is very, very damaging winds out of this because we are very close to the radar. But again, treat it like a tornado warning. Go to the centermost part of your house, put as many walls as between you and the outside as possible, because with these type of winds, debris gets picked up very, very easily and can go through walls, can go through windows, can go through pretty much anything. So we want to make sure you're secure in the most center part of your house until this passes. We're very, very close to the radar. Seeing 90-mile-per-hour winds is a good chance that that's happening on the ground there.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, that is a really important distinction too. To the fact that we're seeing these winds and how quickly they're approaching the places that we are mentioning is really a testament to what's going on. All right, why don't we just at the moment kind of do a overall encompassing look at what's going on. We do have that new severe thunderstorm warning that Brant mentioned that does now include parts of the Columbus metro area, and this is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. That means we have wind potential upwards of 70 miles per hour, and that it now includes some pretty populated areas: Hilliard, Dublin, West Jefferson, just outside of Grove City, so West Columbus, and then into Madison County, London, Mount Sterling, South Solon, all of Fayette County, Bloomingburg, Washington Courthouse, Jeffersonville, all the way down to Hillsborough and Highland County. This is all tracking the same line that we have the tornado warning in effect for. Now, this tornado warning is only in effect for 12 more minutes, but it's basically already in Wilmington. So if you're in Wilmington, let's see. Okay. I'm not seeing the Weather Service taking shelter themselves, but let's see what's going on here. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Brant, are you just seeing 100-mile-per-hour wind gust potential?
Yeah, so actually just south of this in Fayetteville here.
I was just
Um,
looking at that.
yeah, if you look at the velocity, I mean we've got some pretty nasty winds uh, coming just east of Fayetteville there.
Yeah,
Um,
Fayetteville, St. Martin.
yeah, it's not as intense on the latest scan, but there was a scan ago that the radar was indicating upwards of 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and that's some serious wind guys. Actually, I don't know if it's bad data or not, but right over St. Martin, there's a radar estimated wind of 115 miles an hour. So these are
We had
very
a
serious,
microburst.
yeah, very
Yeah.
serious
Yeah.
storms nonetheless, packing a serious punch with the wind, guys.
Yeah. Wow. 115 miles per hour. That's why these severe thunderstorm warnings are so serious, because you almost need to treat them like a tornado, because you need to treat a situation like that as a tornado. Um, Also, another thing I want to point out, that there are a couple more tornado warnings in northern Kentucky. These are south of the Cincinnati metro, but they are still potentially needing to be monitored as they track northeast into maybe Claremont and Brown County. So we're going to be watching these tornado warned storms as well. And then still down into central Kentucky, there's some tornadoes ongoing. But some good news up in the Cleveland area, though. I'll mention this just because we've got a lot of people up in northeast Ohio. The Weather Service out of Cleveland has elected not to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Cuyahoga County, as the storm has moved into the western suburbs. So, Mark, how bad was it at your house? Do you know, or is it pretty much okay there?
From where I'm at, it didn't sound too bad.
Okay.
It was definitely weakening gradually, but as it approached. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's a pretty good call. A lot of this has broken up, so um, yeah, that's not a bad call at all. To probably not warn that right now, and that's kind of what a lot of the modeling was showing too. As we got later into the night, 1-2 a.m., things started to kind of get messy from north to south, and yeah, this is about what we were kind of looking at earlier, um, with some of the high res modeling. So and it looks like they canceled that tornado warning too.
But I'm getting word from the Weather Service we're about to get a new tornado warning for Brown County.
Okay,
Nope,
that
yep,
makes
there it
sense.
is. It's
There it
actually
is.
yep.
Oh, and yep, and we have a tornado warning observed for,
Oh,
for Lynchburg. And I got thunder in my house
you know what?
too.
That's actually the area we were just talking
That's
about with
it
that
is.
117-mile-per-hour wind
It
gust. So
is.
let's go ahead.
Wow.
All right.
Let's go ahead and look at the
Yeah.
correlation coefficient here. We'll back it
Radar
up a little
confirmed
bit.
tornado. That's
Not
interesting.
seeing. Oh, hold on a second. Actually, right over Saint Martin right now, guys. Go to.
There it is. I see it. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. This thing is.
It's on the
It's
ground.
just east of Saint Martin right now.
Okay.
Heading up toward Lynchburg,
Oh my.
Webertown. Yeah,
Yes.
Clocks Crossing. This thing
Indiana
is
Island.
down.
Yep. It's
Yes,
on
we
the
have a
ground.
tornado on the
Leesburg.
ground. I'm texting a friend who lives in the area, so give me one sec. All right,
Yeah,
text
yeah. Do
sent.
what you need to do.
Okay, yep. All right, so what I'm showing you guys on radar right now is what we call, basically, it's a debris tracker. And what happens is when you look at the radar and you see a bunch of red, that's rain. That's telling me that something meteorological or weather is falling out of the sky. When you see other colors, like green or blue, that tells me it's something with a weird shape, like debris. So when we see those other colors, we are tracking debris being lofted, and that tells us a tornado is on the ground. So if you are in Lynchburg, you absolutely need to be in your safe spot right now. There is a tornado coming right for you in Lynchburg. I cannot stress how serious this is for the town of Lynchburg, which is right on the line between Clinton, and Highland County. So this is going to be State Route 134, State Route 124, State Route 73, New Vienna, Highland, Leesburg. All of these places could be in line for a tornado that is currently on the ground near Lynchburg. All right, tornado on the ground near Lynchburg. There it is on radar. We see that little dot with green and blue. And looking, hold on one second. I'm going to communicate with the rest of the group here. Yeah. Okay. So we're pretty much I'm gonna hold tight on this, and not take it off of the screen too much. But I do want to mention that the Weather Service is considering these tornado warnings on the other side of Brown County, down in Kentucky as well. So we're going to be keeping our eye on that too. But really, our main focus right now is Lynchburg, and there is a signature of debris in Lynchburg now. So right here, where we see the colors on radar that are not red, in a big clump, that tells me that there might be debris being lofted into the air. I'm wondering if I could back this radar up a bit, just to kind of... All right, so I'm going to back the radar up to about 116, so that was 10 minutes ago. Watch this start to develop near St. Martin. You can see that big, bright blue ball. That was a tornado. Then in the next scan, it moves right to Lynchburg, and that's where we're at right now. We're in Lynchburg. So again, these pop up very quickly, and that's why this is so dangerous. So again, if you're in Lynchburg, it's too late. You need to be in your safe spot. Route 124. This should miss Hillsborough, but if you're north of Hillsborough along US 62, New Vienna, you need to be in your safe spot. This is a serious tornado situation. A tornado has been confirmed by the National Weather Service and by radar, indicating a debris ball in being lofted at the moment. Let's see if we've got any more information on it. Okay, we have a new radar scan. All right, it's still showing up. It's dispersing a little bit, but it's still showing up, so we can still consider this a dangerous situation. State Route 124 past Lynchburg. So you notice how I talked about Lynchburg for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then it's passed. It's passed. That's how fast this is moving. These are, let's see here. Let me get the speed. If I can get the forward speed. 60 miles per hour northeast. So it's moving at essentially highway speed. So I'm wondering if we're seeing some other sort of clutter out there. But really what I'm most concerned about is this area now east of Lynchburg, heading to the north side of Hillsborough. Let's see if we've got any other information here. All right. So, yes, this tornado warning will be in effect until 1:45 in the morning. And due to the seriousness of this situation, we're going to stick with this one because this was confirmed. Not only that, but before this tornado hit, and maybe it's tornado related, but we were even seeing, and we were talking about this, Brant, in northern Brown County near Fayetteville, on how this was producing some wind potentially greater than 100 miles per hour. So this has a destructive history. So
yeah,
we'll stick with this for a couple more radar scans and throughout the rest of the warning, because we did see a tornado on the ground.
Yeah, and that was very clearly evident by the correlation coefficient product, and unfortunately that's not what we want to see when talking about tornadoes, because that means debris is being lofted into the air. But yeah, that was actually the area that we were just looking at for those 90 to 100 plus mile per hour wind gusts that the radar was indicating. and there was also a tornado that was in the process of forming right in that same area. So, going definitely some destruction from this storm. Based on the debris tracker, we know that there was some damage that occurred on the ground because we were able to see that the tornado was able to lift that debris high enough for the radar to be able to tell us that, hey, this is something that isn't supposed to be there. So definitely some destruction, unfortunately, there in northern Brown County, and continuing to move off. The storm's continuing to move off to the northeast, and we have to treat it as a tornado could drop at any second, because that's exactly what we dealt with just 15 minutes ago when that signature was present, guys. So. Continue to shelter in place if you are in the polygon here, and hopefully this will be. It's moving very quickly, so it's going to move through the area very rapidly here, but nonetheless, that does not lessen the need for action right now if you are in that polygon, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, in the last couple of scans, this area of debris is consistent with the area that we were concerned about. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to put this through the loop, just so we can show you what we were so concerned about. And I'm going to try to do the loop slowly here. Let's back the radar up to about 111. So nothing going on in northern Brown County near Fayetteville. But then suddenly we see that ball of blue show up. That indicates to me that debris was being lofted in the air. Basically, this radar product is showing us that whatever's in the air does not have a uniform shape. Rain typically has a uniform shape, so it shows up on this radar as red, normal. But if you've got a bunch of other pieces of debris that is not that's irregularly shaped, I should say, it's going to show up on radar like this, so that can help us determine where tornadoes might be. So then they issue the tornado warning. The debris signature moves past Lynchburg, and it is not nearly as defined as it was before. In fact, the Weather Service just updated the tornado warning. The tornado warning is still in effect, but they have removed the observed. So what they're saying is it may not be on the ground anymore, but the storm still has the potential for rotation. And as we look to the north, a heck of a lot of straight line wind. So despite maybe a tornado not being on the ground right now, which it could spin up again, it is entirely possible that the straight line wind threat in eastern Clinton County heading into Fayette County is still very significant. And I might even see something we need to be concerned about here now with this new radar scan. This is south of Sabina.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking at that. That is
Yeah.
actually. Hold on a second. Look at the correlation coefficient. I think there's.
Oh,
I
it's
think
on
there
the
might be
ground.
something on the
Yep.
ground there.
It's on the ground.
Yep. All right. We probably have another tornado on.
This is another
the
spot
ground.
that just got hit too.
Yep,
On
this is-
Sunday.
Yeah, this
Headed
is
towards
just
Washington
south
Courthouse.
of Sabina. This is going to be in Clinton County, and it is getting ready to move into western Fayette County.
Yes. So while the tornado warning is, there's no tornado warning in effect, go ahead and consider it in effect. So if you're in Sabina, Washington Courthouse, Fayette County, you will likely be seeing a tornado warning issued for you very soon.
There's a drop on CC.
Yep.
It's small, but it's there.
Right there. Right along
Yep.
US 22. So it's following the state route.
Following U.S. route, just south of it. There's
Yep.
your CC drop, Mike. Got
Yeah,
it.
it is right on the county line of Clinton and Fayette right now.
Okay.
Boy, did that happen fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can still see it on velocity. That's a very strong velocity return.
Yeah, very, very just wrapped right in off that other one, and bang, here we go.
Here we go. Okay. A lot of rain, so it's rain wrapped. Let's see if we've got a new scan. We're going to be watching that area right there. So yeah, if you're in Washington Courthouse, I would certainly be in your safe spot now. I mean, you're already in a destructive severe, or I should say a considerable severe thunderstorm
We have a new
warning.
tornado warning.
New tornado warning.
Yeah, it is. I'll go ahead and read off the information here.
Okay.
It is. Let's see here. I'm waiting for it to pop onto our other radar source here. It is radar indicated rotation. This is going to be for Clinton, Fayette, and Pickaway County until 2 a.m. Again, this is radar indicated. So, well, that's actually, well into all of Fayette County, into the western parts of Pickaway County there, guys, until 2 a.m. Radar indicated again. We did see that spot of maybe what could have been a tornado. The National Weather Service, obviously on their end, having tons of discussions. Mike, I'm sure you can talk a lot about that. Everything that's going on behind the scenes there. But again, right now the warning states radar indicated. Again, this is for Fayette. This is a large part of Fayette. This does include Washington Courthouse. And it's going to be for Fayette, Clinton, and Pickaway counties until 2 a.m. The signature that we're watching right now is, let me go ahead and see if I can, technology does not want to work. It's nice when it works, but it's not so nice when it doesn't want to work there. The signature is basically fully into Fayette County right now, coming up very quickly on Washington Courthouse, just south of US 22, guys.
Yep. Agree with that. Yeah, it's going to be Washington Courthouse in just 2 minutes tops.
My radar is not updating very fast, but let me try to switch over to another radar site really quick, and maybe I can try to get... Okay, there we go. Now it has put the polygon on screen. And now we can show people where exactly we're talking about. So again, this is a new tornado warning. This is going to run until 2 o'clock for pretty much Washington Courthouse. So if you're in Washington Courthouse, you need to be in your safe spot. And I'll show you exactly where we're concerned about. So this is this area of red and green, very tightly wrapped around each other, right between US 22 and US 62. So it is heading right into Washington Courthouse. So if you are in Washington Courthouse, you absolutely need to be in your safe spot right now. This is moving very quickly. The forward speed is northeast at 60 miles an hour. So highway speed, moving very, very quickly. It's very important to be in your safe spot right now in Washington Courthouse. That is the major populated area where this possible tornado is approaching. And by possible, I mean we do have evidence, and I even see a little bit of potential debris here on our debris tracker here. So right there. So if you can see that little green and blue pixel, that could have been tornado debris. It looks a little better this scan, but we are so there's still a decent signature on velocity. Oh boy, I had a big rumble of thunder here at my house. You hear Columbus, if you can hear that. It's here for us in Columbus, but Columbus is not under a tornado warning, but Fayette County is. If you're in Clinton County, you're fine. It's primarily Fayette and eventually Pickaway County that you're going to see this. This is about to cross US 62 in Washington Courthouse. So that's the part of the town, the south side of town, US 62, State Route 41, then eventually US 35. US 35 is a major trucking and transportation route that runs through Washington Courthouse. I believe there's even a Walmart distribution center there. So those workers, whoever's there, need to be sheltering in place. You have less than a minute to get there. This is on top of Washington Courthouse right now. And it's moving into Fayette County very quickly at 60 miles per hour. I should say moving into Pickaway County very quickly at 60 miles per hour. If you're in Bloomingburg, you need to be in your safe spot. And honestly, I know Mount Sterling and portions of Madison County are not technically in the warning, but I would also be watching out for this as well. Speaking of the Columbus area, we still do have a potential destructive or considerable severe thunderstorm warning that has moved into the western suburbs. But so if you're in Grove City and you're hearing rain and thunder and lightning, the worst of the storm has not gotten there yet. The worst of the storm is in London and near Mount Sterling and heading your way. So don't let your guard down when the rain lets up in Columbus, because the worst of the storm has not passed yet. Also, I want to point out that we have another tornado warning, not in our viewing area, but it's down near Falmouth, Kentucky, Brooksville, Kentucky. We'll have to see if this gets pushed into Adams County. So we'll be watching that one very closely. But what we're really, really concerned about right now is the tornado threat in Washington Courthouse right now. So any third shift workers, again, I know there's a Walmart distribution center there. Hopefully people are taking very, very seriously. All right, I was just checking with the weather service here. All right, so
real quick, Mike, just if I can interject,
yes.
They did mention that the NOAA weather radio out of Chillicothe is offline.
Okay. Yeah, not a good night for that, but we understand that that's sometimes out of our control. Okay, yeah, so if anybody is depending on that, it is not available for folks tonight. Okay. All right, well, the good news is, though, I'm not seeing the potential for debris in Washington Courthouse right now. Let me loop it to see if I can track that a little bit. So we noticed some
Velocity's looking better too.
Velocity's looking better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There was a little bit of debris outside of Sabina, and then the debris kind of fizzled as it hit Washington Courthouse. So I'm hoping what that means is that Washington Courthouse does not have a tornado on the ground. But the velocity looks better, but there's still potentially some rotation there. So we'll be, watching it closely, especially as it starts to move into Pickaway County. All right, let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, all right, well, it looks like radar data and severe warnings being slow tonight is a known issue across the weather community. So we are not the only ones that are experiencing this. But again, now on the east side of Washington Courthouse, there is still a bit of a velocity signature there. I'm not seeing any debris, so that's good news. But I do believe this storm does still have a little bit of rotation in it, so I believe that the Weather Service is going to allow this tornado warning to keep going, at least until 2 o'clock. And that will primarily be for Pickaway County here shortly when this storm moves out of Fayette County. And I do believe the tornado warning for Highland County will be allowed to expire. I don't see any indication of rotation near places like Leesburg and Hillsborough anymore. It's primarily this one near Washington Courthouse. So, all right. Might not be a bad one. Oh, go ahead.
The one for Clinton County was canceled 3 minutes early.
Fantastic. All right. So this one down here has been canceled.
It's canceled.
So we like to hear that. Although we do have some new severe thunderstorm warnings to talk about. The entire city of Columbus is now under a severe thunderstorm warning. It's a regular severe thunderstorm warning, but that's still a significant thing to talk about. That means there is the potential for wind up to 60 miles per hour. So again, that's the entire Columbus metro area. And this storm is moving very quickly. It is moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. So let's put a storm track on that. Hold on. Make sure I'm getting it. sure why my storm tracker isn't working. It's not drawing. Like it was all night. Well, anyway. Either way, it's the leading edge of the gusty wind that'll impact Columbus is now entering Franklin County. So it's Dublin, it's on top of you. Hilliard, West Jefferson. Grove City, you probably got about 5 minutes. Southwest Columbus, like Georgesville Road area, you probably have about 5 minutes. Worthington, maybe about 5. Basically 5 minutes if you live along or west of I-71. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes out toward Gahanna, the airport, Westerville, New Albany. I can see the lightning at my house, and I'm in between downtown and Grove City, so we're getting it here in town. Still, of course, watching this tornado warning in Fayette County. Let's check again to see if there's any debris. No, I don't think. Well, I don't know. There's this area just east of Washington Courthouse near the route marker on the map that shows the slightest pixel of a debris signature. I don't know if that's enough to consider that debris, but it is in the same spot of the strongest velocity returns that we're getting right now. So, and we just got a new scan on that. So still some, even if this is not dropping a tornado, it's still producing some very damaging wind, which can be as bad as a tornado in some cases. So I would still very much heed this tornado warning, especially if you're in New Holland, Williamsport, even Circleville. While Circleville is not in the tornado warning, I would be looking out just to see what this storm does as it moves east-northeast very, very quickly at about 65 miles per hour. That we're getting a lot of heavy rain. So
it
again,
may be trying to cycle back around just outside of New Holland there. It looks like it may pick up a little bit of rotation. So I definitely keep a very close eye on it.
All right. Yeah, near New Holland. Let's put the velocity on again. All right, let's wait a scan or two and see what happens here. Why don't I just say if you live in New Holland or Williamsport, maybe even Clarksburg, be in your safe spot just in case this does drop a tornado. A tornado warning is still in effect. So even though we're not seeing immediate debris on our radar, that doesn't mean it can't happen between radar scans, because that only happens once every few minutes. So we do need to be watching out for that. Let's see if we can't animate this a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's still not as strong of a signature as it was near Sabina, but it's trying near New Holland. And this is the same storm in the same spot as it moves east very quickly. So, yeah, if you're in New Holland, it's on top of you right now. I would be in your safe spot. Williamsport. Let's see if the Weather Service has anything to say about it. Nothing yet. Because it will be leaving the polygon rather soon.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll have to be making a decision here. Okay. Well, while we wait on that, New Holland, please be in your safe spot. Williamsport, Clarksburg, and even Circleville and Darbyville, just be on the lookout, because this does look like it could possibly spin up into something again soon. All right, where else do we have severe weather? Well, a lot of places. Cleveland, you had what was a severe storm. It has kind of weakened, but still packing a punch for a lot of the Cleveland suburbs. Now moving really through the east side, and then the west side, you're going to get some more heavy rain again. Mansfield, it's mostly heavy rain and a little bit of wind. Maybe some strong winds in northern Morrow County near the racetrack, Mid-Ohio, and Lexington. Columbus, you're about to get the brunt of the wind in Columbus. So if there's going to be any wind damage in Columbus, it's going to happen very soon. It's happening in Hilliard, even starting to move into Grove City and Dublin right now, Upper Arlington, Grandview Heights, downtown, Worthington, You're about 5 minutes away. Grove City, it's almost on top of you. A lot of lightning and thunder here in Columbus right now, as it is in many places that's having a thunderstorm. All right, and then of course down here, we're still watching a tornado warned storm just south of Brown County. Again, this would be the southern tip of Brown County, so we're gonna have to see if that holds up as it moves into Ohio. But the main storm that we're concerned about at the moment is this one heading into Pickaway County, which is still decently impressive on radar near New Holland, but not nearly as strong as it was as it pushed through Washington Courthouse about 20 minutes ago. So we'll see. This tornado warning is in effect until 2. I think it's starting to transition into maybe some straight line wind. I don't know, guys. What do you think? But it's still got to watch it because of its history.
It's certainly trying. I think also the storm around Germantown, Kentucky, that one may be trying to cycle back around too. So it's possible we get a warning in the far southern Ohio there too, places like Manchester, Ripley, West Union, that kind of area.
Yeah, right down here by the Ohio River.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there's definitely some rotation there near Germantown, Kentucky. We'll see what the Weather Service decides to do with that one, if that's going to end up extending into Ohio at all. But either way, there is a severe thunderstorm warning. Tag tornado possible because of that, even on the Ohio side. So we're going to be watching that one very closely. There's another tornado warning down in Kentucky near Lexington, Kentucky, that bears watching, as it may still track into our southern counties.
Take a little bit to get here.
Yeah, it would still take a bit of time. Looks like the Weather Service trimmed that tornado warning, so it's only in effect for a very small portion of Pickaway County right now. So New Holland still maybe some. It's trying. Like you said, it's trying, but hopefully we'll see a weakening trend, and we'll see this warning being allowed to expire here at 2 a.m. So that is the goal, is that we want these to expire so people are safer. All right. Let's check the Columbus area again, just because this is affecting a lot of people. So it's about to get very heavy rain and gusty wind moving through most of Columbus. So be ready if you're watching us from the Columbus area. A lot of lightning and thunder and wind.
That looks bad.
And it's moving through the western suburbs right now. Still no confirmed rotation or anything else being too crazy on that Pickaway County warning, but still a lot of straight line wind potential.
Oh, yeah.
And then the southern storm, we'll have to kind of see what they think about that rotation. It looks pretty broad as it starts to move toward Ohio, but we'll still have to watch it.
It is broadening out. It could be cycling back around.
True.
But it does look to be a little bit more broad. I definitely still keep an eye on that because that could cycle back around real fast.
Absolutely. And this is not the only tornado situation across the country. There are several more tornado warnings in effect.
New tornado warning.
Yeah,
it's going to be actually going to be for that storm that you were just talking about in Kentucky there. This is going to be for Adams and Brown County until 2:15 this morning, guys. And another new tornado warning for... Actually, we got a bunch of them coming here. We got a new tornado warning for Pickaway and Ross County until 2:15 a.m. This is going to be for actually the area that I was just watching, just west of Frankfort there in Ross County. A little kink in the line that we like to look for when talking about tornadoes along a very fine line of storms. So, again, 2 new tornado warnings just issued. Again, we have one for Brown and Adams County until 2:15, and then Pickaway and Ross County for the same time, guys. 2 different couplets.
All right. So yes, Let's start with the Frankfurt. We'll put on our debris tracker, and I don't see anything that is definitively causing a lot of debris. However, yes, the radar certainly indicates, at least with velocity, that there could be some rotation capable of producing a tornado near Frankfurt and along US 35. So this is going to be Ross County, just to the northwest of Chillicothe. This includes Clarksburg. This also includes southern Pickaway County, not the city of Circleville, but Circleville should be mindful of this. Columbus, you're getting your wind and rain right now, so that'll be impacting Columbus. But we have a large tornado warning now for both Brown and Adams County, including Georgetown, Ohio, Ripley, Ohio, West Union, Seaman, and Cherry Fork. This tornado warning will run until 2:15. And again, it's radar indicated, meaning we're not seeing any debris on the ground, or debris lofted indicating a tornado on the ground. But we are watching it very closely because it's definitely rotating. In fact, it might even be rotating in a couple different spots with this one, and I think that's why the Weather Service has opted to put a large area under this tornado warning, again, for Brown and Adams County until 2:15 this morning, and the other tornado warning for Ross and Pickaway County is also in effect until 2:15. I do believe the original tornado warning that is still in effect for basically Williamsport will probably most likely be allowed to expire at 2, but we're going to stick with these other tornado warnings at least until 2:15 because all of these locations have a history of producing rotation and tornadoes. And again, the night is not completely over because there are still several tornado warnings stretching all the way down into northern Mississippi, Tennessee, and those areas. So I don't necessarily believe that those storms are going to head toward us. I think we're dealing with our own storms. But the severe weather threat across the eastern U.S. is still a considerable issue. Also, I do want to point out, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Richland, Ashland, Morrow, and Knox County. This is tagged tornado possible, with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So I know a lot of people have been asking about the Mansfield area, and I know we haven't gotten to you in a bit because we've been tracking these tornado warnings. But yes, there is a strong storm that has just moved through the I-71 corridor in Richland County. So Lexington, it's already pushing through. Belleville, it's coming in about a minute. Lucas, about a minute. Downtown Mansfield, you're getting it. Fredericktown, you've got about 2 or 3 minutes. Mount Vernon, maybe about 5. These are all moving very quickly and producing wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And we'll also have to watch for some rotation in some areas too. So again, that's the Mansfield area. But then we have Columbus, where the wind and rain is going through right now. And the tornado warnings. This one near Frankfurt, which is still showing some indication of rotation. It has now crossed US 35, so it's heading more towards US 23 and southern Pickaway County. State Route 207 is in the path, and State Route 104. So State Route 104 running from the south side of Columbus all the way down to Chillicothe, our major route between Columbus and Chillicothe. There is a section between southern Pickaway and northern Ross County that is under the gun for potential tornado. And then we also have this tornado warning near Ripley, Ohio, that's showing not only the potential for some rotation and even some back up here near Georgetown, but also some damaging straight line wind coming with it. So a lot of severe weather still going on as we approach the 2 o'clock hour this morning. Let's see if we have any updates from the Weather Service. Okay, let's see what they're talking about here. All right. Okay, so We might be able to see the Brown and Adams County with the CVG radar. Let's see if that shows up at all. Oh, yeah. We're getting some very strong wind, possibly some rotation between Georgetown and Ripley. So the strong wind, more so near Georgetown, but the rotation between Ripley and Maysville, right along the Ohio River there, is where that would be. Right along US 52, near Ripley. So West Union, Cherry Fork, places in Adams County, the western fringe of Adams County should probably be prepared. This is a classic possible tornado in a line of thunderstorm situation for southern Brown County moving into Adams County, right there near Ripley. Wonder if we could possibly see some, if there's any debris. Maybe. We're seeing some colors that are not entirely red. It's not very definitive. It's not like a debris ball, but there's something there. So we'll be watching that one very, very closely. Down there in the Ohio River, near Ripley and US 52. Alright, we have an update on this tornado warning in Ross County. They've trimmed it a little bit. So I'm not seeing any debris signature so far. But the velocity still shows a little kink in the line northeast of Frankfort. So that'll be crossing the Pickaway County line very soon. It'll be crossing State Route 207 very soon, if it's not already. State Route 104 very soon. And then eventually US 23. So we'll be watching closely to see if this spins back up again and another tornado warning might be necessary for Pickaway County, although nothing super definitive. It looks like it's transitioning into more of a straight line wind threat there. The main area that we really need to watch is right down here between Ripley and Maysville. That's where the strongest rotation is right now in our whole coverage area. And it's a rather large tornado warning. Note, nothing confirmed. Nothing generally indicating that there's debris being lofted. But we might have a couple things that we have to track very carefully. Again, between Ripley and Maysville. Let me zoom out to see if we've got anything else. All right, so the tornado warning near Lexington, Kentucky has been expired, so that's good. Hopefully we're noticing a weakening trend with these tornado warnings. So ideally, both of them get canceled at 2:15, but we do have to watch, especially the one in Brown and Adams County that's shown the strongest potential for rotation throughout the last 30 minutes or so, really. And then still a little bit, but transitioning into a straight line wind event heading to south of Circleville as it crosses the the Ross and Pickaway County line. That's what I've got now here. I don't know if we have any other reports of updates from the Weather Service or any other important things to discuss, guys. All right, well, what I can do is tell you that the tornado warning for Ross and Fayette County, I keep saying Fayette, it's not, Ross and Pickaway County has been canceled. So that tornado warning has been canceled early, so that is good news there. All right, so the only tornado warning we have in effect right now is this one here in Brown County. That seems to be transitioning into straight line wind again as well. So if you're in West Union, you're probably about to get blasted with some very strong wind. I would treat this as a tornado situation one, you're still under the tornado warning, and two, this straight line wind could be very dangerous. That's going to be right along State Route 125, State Route 41, now moving into Adams County. So Brown County, you're in the clear. I had a question about Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Metro, yes. The only thing the Cincinnati metro area is seeing right now is just some rain. So if you're in the Cincinnati metro area, you can rest assured that things are looking better for you. We still do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Columbus. So if you are in the eastern suburbs of Columbus, you are dealing with a strong thunderstorm, including downtown, but things are improving on the west side. Still some strong straight line wind potential all the way through Pickaway County, and then that area right along the county line where we did have that rotation earlier. And we also have this severe thunderstorm warning up near north central Ohio, which includes the Mansfield area, and also on top of places like Belleville and Butler, Lucas, Lexington, things are clearing up. Mansfield, things are clearing up too. All right, new severe thunderstorm warning. This is a big one for Licking, Fairfield, and Hocking counties. This is going to run until 3 o'clock in the morning. This is a regular severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado and rotation indicated. No destructive or considerable indication as well. But if you are in Licking, Fairfield, or Hocking County, you may be seeing some of the straight line wind damage potential that the east side of Columbus is now experiencing. So that's a general overview of what's going on. The Weather Service has trimmed back the tornado warning in Brown and Adams County. I'm not necessarily seeing a debris signature. However, we still do have some broad rotation and definitely a gusty straight line wind threat for West Union. So if you are in West Union, you should still be following your tornado protocol as we go throughout the next about 10 minutes or so. This tornado warning will be in effect for another 10 minutes. We'll stick with you until then, and then we may hand off coverage here this evening to other members of our team as we go throughout the rest of the night. I just do want to check. Are Brant and Mark still with us?
I'm still
Yes.
here, barely.
All right. So, like I said, what we might do is when this tornado warning is hopefully allowed to expire. I mean, if it doesn't expire, we'll stick with you. But I'll probably be handing coverage over to Brant, and we'll take it from there. So again, still a tornado warning in effect for mostly Adams County now until 2:15. It is starting to show signs of weakening.
This is a good sign there.
Other than the straight line wind threat.
Yeah.
So Brant, looks like you've got some storms at your house right now.
Yeah, they're getting ready to hit me pretty hard here in southern Pickaway County. So we'll see if the internet and power decides to hold on here.
Gotcha. So you're not far from where that rotation was then, right?
No, actually, the area that's actually getting ready to go over my house is actually the one that was warned back for just east of Frankfort there in Ross County. So these lines are moving very, very quickly off to the east here. So it's going to be on your doorstep and gone before you can blink. Not really, but they're
Yeah. Well, I'm even seeing some maybe possible
very
hail.
close to where that.
I think I'm seeing some possible hail over Circleville right now. Let me check to make sure that's not. Yeah, I mean it's showing up on the debris tracker a little bit. I don't think it's tornado. I think it's maybe some hail. Maybe. I at least that's what I think. I don't think it shows any indication of rotation there. So, yeah, this is going to primarily transition into a straight line wind threat in eastern Ohio. That's why those locations are under a severe thunderstorm watch and not a tornado watch. The tornado watch has actually been peeled back. So many locations are no longer in the tornado watch. So the only spots that are still in the tornado watch are those highlighted in yellow. Although a lot of locations like Cincinnati and Dayton and Xenia are no longer under the threat for tornadoes. So that's good news there. Still a very considerably damaging night for tornadoes near Bowling Green, Kentucky. We have particularly dangerous situation tornadoes south of Nashville and near Holly Springs, Mississippi. Those will not be heading our way, but those are some serious situations that are unfolding tonight, and we really hope that it won't cause significant damage, but unfortunately that situation does not look good there. All right, let's just scan over everything really quick. I'm not really seeing anything that's too concerning near West Union other than some very, very high wind. Mm-hmm. I don't see maybe some broad rotation, but that's about it. So I assume this tornado warning will be allowed to expire.
I agree with that, Mike.
And then from there, it's going to be severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's now pushed to the east side of Columbus. Looks like there's quite a bit of wind going through Pickerington right now. So that's just crossing over the Franklin-Fairfield County line. So Pickerington about to get blasted with wind. So is the Columbus Airport near Gahanna, John Glenn International Airport. Okay, so... And then that will be exiting the Columbus area. All right, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that will likely be taking the place of this tornado warning.
The tornado warning just canceled.
Tornado warning canceled. All right, we like to hear that. However, just to mention briefly, the new severe thunderstorm warning for Pike, Scioto, Adams, and into Kentucky. That'll run until 3:15. It is tagged tornado possible because of the storm's history, but they have elected to cancel the tornado warning, so that's good news. All right, well, I think that is a good point for us to maybe regroup, and then as the situation warrants, we will rejoin coverage a little bit later. But for now, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect from Ashland County all the way down to Portsmouth in Scioto County. The threat is mostly over for tornadoes, but we can't rule out a quick spin up. But we still do have a straight line wind threat moving into eastern Ohio through the morning. So if you're in eastern Ohio and you're in the severe thunderstorm watch, which stretches from Ashtabula all the way into West Virginia, please be mindful of the potential for some straight line wind. So again, all tornado warnings in Ohio are expired. I think now is a good time to temporarily pause our stream, regroup, and we'll come back a little bit later. Thank you so much for